Welcome everybody to the VAIL Season 1 NA pre-show. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster Heritage. And today we're going to chat a bit about our upcoming matchups for Group B. But first, Heritage, I just want to get how you're feeling today. Are you ready for today's matchups?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday wasn't a nominal Group A.
Oh yeah.
And in Group B, there is a lot more, I'd say, stacked teams compared to yesterday. Where even though there were pretty close matches, which one was it? Eternity, Global Dystopia,
Determined.
Oh no, Determined, Global Dystopia.
Yeah.
That was a match to watch. But there are today. There's a bunch of stacked rosters.
Well, hold on.
Now.
We're not right.
Do we have the matches?
I gotta cut you off. We're not diving into all that yet because it's been a long road to get here. 11 weeks of regular season gameplay where we've crowned the top 7 teams in North America that are now playing this weekend. Last weekend, we had the 8th place team crowned over a sequence of games and maps, a round-robin format with every team ranked 8th to 32nd battling it out for a chance to qualify into this weekend. And one team managed to do it, Vanguard Gaming Ruby. And so I want to start with that team, Heritage, because I think you were able to watch a little bit of the Challenger Cup there. What are your thoughts on Vanguard Gaming Ruby qualifying in, coming in as that 8th team amongst the others, 8 Basils, Vortex, and Acer?
You want to talk about their Challenger Cup run because it was something. So they got into it through, and I think it was a bit rough because they've barely squeaked into day 2 of Challenger Cup, and even then it was against their own sister team, Vanguard Sapphire, I believe, and even then they were barely able to squeak in a slot because on day 1 in that, I believe, Swiss stage, they barely won against Touchgrass, which was, I believe, 9-8. But in that same day against Sapphire, which they beat on Sunday, they've lost 9-8. And on Sunday, that was even more close. But it ended up pulling Ruby out in the end. So they honestly did deserve to come into the round group stage.
Yeah,
but they've got a long road. They've got a long road if they want to qualify as that 1st and 2nd seed.
Yeah, they fought incredibly hard through to the Challenger Cup, and now we're here this weekend where we have 4 of the top 7 teams, or I suppose 3 of the top 7 teams and that 8th place team battling it out in a round-robin group stage. For those unaware, the way that the format works this afternoon is that we have 3 rounds to be played. Each round consists of 2 maps that are played out, and only 2 maps. It's not a best of 3, it's not a best of 2, it is exclusively 2 maps. At the end of all 3 rounds, when each team has played a total of 6 maps, we will then have 2 teams that advance on as the winners of this round-robin group stage and get to play next weekend for their chance at 1st and 2nd place prizing. $5 grand in cash on the line at 1st place, on top of flights out to VRML Con to play your grand finals live on stage July 20th and 21st. Heritage, you want to talk about a prize pool and pressure and what's on the line. Vanguard Gaming Ruby going up against Acer for a chance at that much cash in VRML Con. I mean, you don't get much more of a high-pressure opener than the first matchup for Vanguard Gaming Ruby than that.
Yeah, I mean, besides going against the I believe the undefeated. Oh no, they've lost one. That was one time, but you have to go against arguably the most dominant team during the regular season, and even then, you're going against teams such as 8 Basil, who's also in that 4th slot, as well as Vortex, which if you've been with the competitive scene for a long time, they have been the best team in the world, especially back in Miami, but I think they have a bit of a chance because there has been a bit of a weaker showing from the side of Vortex. So maybe they could pull ahead of Vortex, but you need to be able to at least put up a chance against either Acer or 8 Basils. Because if you look at just overall statistics and the way that the teams have been playing, a lot of people will aim their way towards Acer and 8 Basils being that 1st and 2nd seed outside of Group B.
It's an incredible group stage, to say the least, here with Group B. Group A was also pretty dang competitive. I mean, you're talking about Wrecked, Global Dystopia, Determined, and Eternity, and that was incredibly fun to watch last night. We got Determined and Wrecked qualifying through that group stage. The two favorites, so to speak, but ultimately, well-deserved, because of just how well they fought. And then today, again, 8Basil's, Vortex, Vanguard Gaming, Ruby, and Acer. Again, a reminder on the way that this stream will work is that in about 23 minutes from now, we will dive into our first map of the day. That'll likely be 8Basil's versus Vortex, because I do think that's going to be a pretty good opener, Heritage. I really want to see how those two teams battle it out. You look at their matchup history, the last time they played, it was 23-23. I don't think you can get a more anticipated decider, if you will, in this postseason between these two teams than what we're going to start with there. But at the same time, Vanguard Gaming Ruby versus Acer will also be playing their matchup live. So what will happen is, depending on pacing and speed, we may bounce around from map to map, series to series. We may jump over and see how Vanguard Gaming Ruby and Acer is going. If there's a timeout with 8Basil's and Vortex, we may jump over after a series. We may miss rounds and games. And the reality is that we're going to do the best we can to do and cover everything, all the series, but just prepare yourselves for maybe not being able to see all of the games that are going to get played. We will ensure that we'll at least see all of the teams, which does mean we typically will follow one team through, but in some cases we may end up being able to jump into their match halfway. So again, we will be sure to cover all of the squads playing this afternoon right here on this channel, so do be sure to stick around. But Heritage, we're getting close to exclusive interviews running, which we've done for Acer and 8Basil's. Those will be coming up right after this pre-show, leading us into that first map. But before we get there, I want to get your thoughts on the overall lay of the land. Group B, 8Basil's, Vortex, Vanguard Gaming, Ruby, and Acer. Who do you see coming out as the two teams from Group B?
So I think the better question to ask is, do I want to play it safe, or do I get flamed by the YouTube chat?
Okay.
So I think everyone expects Acer and 8Basil's, because it makes sense. They're one of the more strong. Those two are the strongest out of their group stage. But I kind of want to. I wish I could. I do want to throw in that wild card of Vortex making it out.
Okay.
Maybe coming in as that second seed, because I think both me and you could both realize that Acer's definitely making it out. There is unless they have the worst day possible. Yeah. They're guaranteed to make it to next week. But
I mean, I didn't think Global Dystopia, when they were down 1-3, would be challenging Determined with a map win in the start of their series, but that happened in round 3 of yesterday. So anything's possible in this postseason.
I mean, it is postseason. It is postseason. Anything goes. But I think that second seed is anyone's game.
Okay.
Because I have bets Acer's definitely might be able to go through. They're definitely going to go through.
Okay.
But I can't decide on who makes it as that second seed and who goes on to play Reg.
I do think that I may lean towards 8Basil's, just because I think I've ended up casting more of their games. If I'm just going to go off an arbitrary stat, I'll go off that for my decision-making process. But I do agree with you in that Acer, being a franchise across the VRML that really does quite well at the top, I don't see that changing here with VAIL. Their roster is still pretty dang strong, and they definitely got the confidence of a top team. So that's where I'll be leaning on my decisions this afternoon. But that is going to be it for us here on the pre-show. Like I said, we'll be diving into some interviews conducted by Chumbait of Acer and 8Basil's that'll lead us right up into the start of map number 1, where we'll jump back into the action for 8Basil's and Vortex. It's going to be 6 maps. 3 to 4 hours, maybe even longer, of VAIL action ahead of us. So don't go anywhere. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, stick around, and catch these exclusive interviews that have yet to be aired. Until then, don't go. It's map 1 coming up.
Hello and welcome to the VAIL VR Master League. My name is Chambe, and with me is one of the top teams of the NA region. It's 8 Basils, a rival, Blue and Akari here. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Doing great. I just hung out today.
I'm doing awesome myself.
No, guys, I like, you know, watching 8 Basils kind of start up out of nowhere. Obviously, you guys are still in the Rec family. There was so much talk about, oh my God, what is this, right? Like, what's Rec doing? Like a sister team. It kind of piqued some interest, I think, in the league. How'd you guys feel about your entrance as a secondary roster or an alternate roster in the Rec family?
It felt awesome. A lot of our members on 8 Basils actually tried out for Rec at like the very beginning, and we all just got like rejected. So then we came to Blue 4, our Majesty, our glorious king, and he accepted us with arms wide open, and we've just built the team up from the ground up since then.
I love that.
I couldn't be more happier with this team and how it formed.
Yeah, no, and you know, I think a lot of people are envious of the success, your guys' success. You know, big props to that. So just for the people that are unaware, let's clarify. What's the meaning and what's the explanation behind the name 8 Basils? Because there are 8 players? What's that about?
I believe the name came from Basil Moss, which is actually the captain of Rect. Before he was on Rect, to my knowledge, he had his own team called the 8 Basils. They would always have like the Moz at the end of their name, so Basil Moz and whomever else on that roster, and it kind of just got carried over to here. And I will say, this team actually has been more on the shadows, I guess, but it has been long. We're not necessarily a new team, just a new roster.
Right, no, yeah. Absolutely. Definitely. All right, well, hey, I mean, this is an interview about the postseason, right? How do you guys feel 12 weeks down, 12 weeks up in Season 1 of VAIL VR Master League? Your guys are kind of locked in for the closed qualifiers. How y'all feel about being able to skip the whole process of competing in single elimination and the Challenger Cup? You guys are in the closed qualifiers. How does that feel?
Feels honestly really good. We're stoked to be here. Shout out to all the other teams that made it as well, and we can't wait to go out there and try our best.
Blue, I mean, you're the leader here, and there must be some kind of sense of pride, right? Seeing your best friends in the league, your players, and your, I guess your comrades in arms. Like, you must feel some kind of pride and happiness, right?
Yeah, I feel unbelievable amount of pride and happiness. You know, in the beginning, not many people know this, but we lost like every single scrim. It was looking bleak for a while, and then the first Crest League kind of rolled around, and things have been on the up since.
Yeah. The Rect family, you know, I don't want to glaze, but you guys are really just incredible players and an incredible team culture. So you said that after the Crest League, things started to look on the up. So did you guys go into VAIL VRML Season 1 thinking, expecting to be, obviously with hard work, but expecting to be in the top 7? What was the mindset going into VRML?
Our mindset was just like, after our first Crest League, whenever we placed third, our mindset was just like, yo, like, we really got it. You know what I mean? Like we really did this, and nobody expected it. No, but like, you could even look in the Crest League server, and like go all the way back in the messages. Everyone's like, bro, 8 Basils is still going? Like, they're still playing? And it's like reading those messages, it's like, dude, that's really put like a fire in like my heart, and I could hopefully speak for the rest of my team, and it lit a fire in them too, to just be the best that we possibly could, and that's what we've proved this season. Yeah.
Is there any like tactic or kind of strategy, like not like actual strats in game, but as a team and under leadership, Blue, did you have to take on new ideas and adapt your leadership to VRML and the way that the league is set up? Like, was there any difference compared to other live events and tournaments before VRML?
Honestly, it was kind of super similar. I guess before VRML came in the scene, it was mostly just Crest League and IVRL. There wasn't really any, I guess, adapting we had to do. I would say VRML is generally more professional, at least, you know, from what I could tell. But besides that, really nothing we had to change.
Gotcha. No, good to hear. Good to hear. Top 4, Master Tier, Arrival. I wanna put the spotlight on you. Did you feel any particular difficulty as an individual player? Maybe not a, I don't know what your role is, maybe IGL, maybe support, maybe, you know, utility, but did you as an individual player with your responsibilities in the team per game, did you feel any difficulty this season against the teams that are participating in VRML?
I mean, I had no difficulty with like anything in the season. I had difficulty like changing as a player and becoming more of a team member, as I am one of the new players to VAIL, and that was an obstacle that I'm still working on and, you know, getting better with every single day. And I think we're all as players getting better and the game's getting more advanced when we play every single day, so that's pretty much about it. But us making the one of the top teams feels really, really good, and I felt like the whole time when I was on the team we were gonna make it because these guys right here are really, really good players. So
I'm going to open up that question to Blue and Nikari. Actually, what was your guys' most difficult experience or experiences in Season 1 of VRML?
I think the biggest one for me is having faulty equipment. Always trying to, you know, work on my controllers. I have really bad drift. Sometimes I just can't move. So for me, it was just always, you know, just trying to play the game how it was meant to be played. That's kind of the biggest struggle I've been working on.
Mine would be being on standalone quest. If I get bombarded with util, it just, like, my performance just tanks a whole lot. And there's been a lot of times where I would just underperform significantly because of it. But at the end of the day, like, there's no excuse. I have a gun, I could shoot them, you know. But outside of that, it's really nothing.
I really like that mentality. Yeah, I like that. No, yeah, no excuse. Okay, so now going into this postseason, we talked about some possible kind of leadership changes that you guys actually didn't really experience going into VRML, but now you're in the thick of it, right? Like, you've made it into the top 7. What are some plans, without spoiling any trade secrets for your team? Maybe Blue, if you want to start us off, what are some plans that you've got? Any mindset, any, you know, morale maybe for the postseason here?
I think our plan is just kind of just keeping as it was, just keep grinding, keep practicing, maybe, you know, throw a few more practices in there. It is kind of difficult with our availability, but we kind of, you know, managed to do what we can do. Personally, I like to, you know, play the game whenever I can, you know, early mornings, early nights before I go to bed. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Just continue to grind and hope for the best.
Arrival, any kind of plans that you've got to take on this postseason?
Yes. Aim train, stay motivated, stay focused, get good sleep every single night, and stay focused. That's it. Be a vital player.
Hikari?
Taking on the postseason, I'm actually getting a new job soon, and the hours are pretty bad. I'm gonna be working at 3 to 11, so I'm gonna have to play like early mornings instead of late at night, which is like a complete switch up of what I'm really used to. But anything for the team, and anything to support my team.
Does that mean wreck to you? I'm kidding. I don't. No, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's really inspiring and really, I don't know, it's very satisfying also to hear that you guys are so motivated and so driven. Would expect nothing less from a team like VAIL. Last question, guys. Are there any teams you guys are worried about heading into the finals here? I mean,
honestly, personally, I think our biggest, I guess, rival we haven't really beat consistently yet is probably Acer. Every other team we can, you know, if we work together and not get tilted, keep our heads in the game. could beat generally every other team, but Acers just can't beat them consistently.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Arrival, how about you?
I agree with them as well.
Acer.
Acer's a very, very good team, and yeah, throughout the season, I think they've showed it with their record.
I feel like most teams will also have the same answer as us. So.
I mean, Rect was able to do it on cast, right? So like all eyes
Yeah,
on them, and they were able
were.
to pull off that win against Acer. You guys think?
Shout out the Rec.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you
shout
guys
out
think
to
you
Rect.
could do it? Like, you guys have gone up
could
against
do it.
Acer, and it was 27-18. What are? How confident are you guys that for the postseason that'll happen, or it'll happen, but the other way around?
Well, let me say this. I think generally, if we make it to LAN, I think we definitely have a step up because we're already all Quest players pretty much, besides me and a few other players. So we'll definitely have that advantage of being able to just pick up and play. But if it's like online, we might obviously struggle. But I think we can do it if we just stay locked in, and we have done in Crest League before.
You guys have been locked in for so many weeks. I hope for the next few, you guys will lock in again. That was 8 Basils. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you, man.
Of course.
Hello and welcome to the VAIL VR Master League. My name is Chambate, and I've got the #1 team in VAIL right now. It's Acer. Today, Julian, Tech9, Clev, and Beck are speaking with us. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling?
Great.
Good.
Good.
I'm really looking forward to what kind of shenanigans you guys pull off in the postseason. I mean, there's nothing more exciting than seeing the top teams just pull off the impossible. What's the team energy right now going into the finals?
I think we're feeling great. We had that wreck loss behind our backs, but I think we overcome that. You gotta lose. We're very proud and happy. It's a perfect time to lose right off the start, because then you like get humbled. We're working. We're watching VODs. I think that's just like kickstarted us. There's anger now. We're all fueled. I think we're ready to go as a team. We're feeling great.
Yeah, one thing to mention is definitely that loss has humbled us, and we know what to expect going into the next matches. Like, we know not to, especially because semis and round robin here for LAN, we don't really want to take another loss like that.
Awesome. No, and speaking of which, you guys have done amazing. 12 weeks in, 12 weeks out, despite that wreck loss, you guys made it past the Challenger Cup. How do you feel about that?
Like I did see it coming. If anything, I mean, 8 teams is a lot of teams. I mean, I don't know how many teams played, but I feel like considering like our skill level, I feel like that was I feel like getting top 8 was pretty easy. All right, just like it was just kind of like a given, I guess. We played for a while.
Clem, how about you? Were you expecting to be in the top 7 this first season?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Because there were a lot of new teams that definitely started in VRML, and I'd say only at most like 6 or 7 teams that played in the past, and we were one of those teams, and I think that we just kept our experience, which really gave us a spot to get here.
Another thing is the diversity of our team is very broad. We casted a wide net when we recruited our players, and we all came from separate top teams in other games. And I think as a collective, all that knowledge came in like a big pot, and that just really boosts us over. I think that's what we have above the other players and other teams as an organization. So I don't know. I think we're feeling great going into this. I think we're going to pull some stuff out people have never seen before, do the same old, same old. The energy's great.
I'm pumped, Beck. Taquito's not here with us to share more about the exact founding, and I guess Achilles as well. But hey,
I was here.
Yeah, Julian and Tech were
were
founding fathers, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What am I saying? You guys individually. I'll start with Julian and Tech first. What was the most difficult part about this season of VRML as individual players?
You know, I guess it's just more availability. Like, we all got our own lives going on. We got stuff. You know, I had some scheduling issues when I met a significant other in real life. You know, that can definitely put some pressure on us, especially with scheduling. We don't know, like, who's playing what. We don't even really have a main roster.
No.
So it definitely did not help contribute to that.
Do you guys have any other, without sharing team secrets, do you guys have any other plans on how to strategize going into the finals of VRML?
Going into round robin here, especially with that loss, I think what we got to just work on is just like locking in more. You know, like, it's fun playing with friends and just trying to have fun, but once you take a loss, it's kind of humbling. So I think from like here on out, we're just trying to lock in more.
And any teams you guys are worried about going into the finals?
Determined.
Yeah, determined's definitely a strong one. I mean, they've done this in every game. Normal season, they just don't really care a lot, and then they start to lock in at the end. Really start to show off like who they are. You know, they're definitely a really strong team, and they just haven't shown it until now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we still have a pretty good chance. Above average, I think maybe.
I'm still confident we can beat every team.
Beck, any other teams off the top of your head that you're kind of worried about, or you just know are gonna put up a fight?
There's obviously teams we have not played in a while, or scrimmed, or know how they play on this 8-team roster we have. But I think the raw skill that we have as a team kind of minimizes our risks there. So I think it really comes to determine strategy, and Vortex has been known to pull some funky things. They are the MVM champions, as we see.
Right
so I think they can do some funny stuff. Wrecked, if Rise is playing, is a phenomenal team if Rise is playing.
Yeah, if Rise is playing.
That's really good.
If Rise is playing.
8 Basils, I don't know what's going on with them recently. Did they lose a player or not? But they have beaten us in the past. But I think the biggest worry right now is Determined. So
yeah.
But they're not in our group tomorrow, so we won't really need to worry about them until semis. We just need to focus on beating 8 Basils, which are our biggest competition tomorrow.
Wait, we're fighting them in semis?
We don't know yet. It depends. Wait,
we'll see.
We should be fighting Wrecked.
We will see. We will see.
We'll see. At the end of the round robins, everything will be a little bit clearer. But you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, talking with us. You guys have locked in and focused so hard. You know, Acer is just a spectacular team with an incredible reputation. I cannot wait to see what you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's Taquito again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3. Oh no! Big Rule is right on top. What is this?
And there's a double kill that comes in from Cozy from into the EMP inside. Open trying to shoot in. Oh my god! No! That's 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everybody. We're early on the countdown, if you can ever believe that. 20 seconds ahead of schedule here, Heritage, as we get ready to dive into 8 Basils versus Vortex, our first match of this round-robin group stage, where we're going to have a tremendous amount of top-tier VAIL action. Your final thoughts before we do get ready to dive in. We have teams ready to go. They're eager to hop into this first map. 8 Basils and Vortex, how do you see this shaking out with 2 maps?
In 2 maps, we could I honestly could see both teams taking a map each.
Okay.
I feel like that 8 Basils could pull out in the end, but I think just by a small fraction. I don't think it's gonna be as big as, you know, maybe something like a 9-2, 9-4, maybe something like a 9-7, 9-8. But I kind of am a little bit towards 8 Basils because I feel like as the season went on, Vortex has, I believe from my quote-unquote intel, that Vortex has been playing a lot less than 8 Basils in terms of Yeah, especially because they have lives too. They can't play VR compared to a Basil, so a few of them barely just graduated.
Yeah, there's
so
finals.
They have a lot of time.
Yeah, Jumpbait would have joined us on the desk, I think, today if he could, but he himself had to do some studying. So everyone's got their own things going on top of playing in this highly competitive league, and it does look like we are ready to hop into our first map of the afternoon as these teams fire up the first of the NA Group B. And Heritage, I think this is maybe the stronger group. Hard to say, to be honest, with how good these teams are, but we're ready to go. And we're diving into our first map of the afternoon on Miru as our opener. And I'm curious, Heritage, your thoughts on Miru to kick this thing off. How do you see this shaking out with, who is it? I believe it's... Oh, I don't know the rosters. You gotta tell me who's attacking and who's on offense here.
So Vortex is starting on the Ray up side. As we have the side of 8 Basils on offense, as they've already made their way through towards this B site. Now, side of 8 Basils, they're pushing through. They're able to find one, but Afterdot's able to take down Ball. Now it's going to be the scan going live as Fekugo is able to take down Afterdot. Kirby able to get that trade though, as Frigg is fighting a trade with Kirby Dog, just down to Chewy into a 1v3. And I think this might be hard to pull off.
I mean, what a fast pistol round to get to this point here. Is Chewy going to have a tough time with 3 players swinging him on that corner in a beautiful opener, as I got to reset my score lines from the EU series for 8 Basils here as they go up 1-0. Vortex getting picked apart a little bit on the back side there in particular. A really great push down in from the 8 Basils squad on the attack, extending all the way into the back side of B. Love to see the aggression there, the confidence coming in from 8 Basils. And I mean, again, I think it's going to be a continuous back and forth. With Miru being our opener, you're going to see a lot of that back and forth. And so, again, it looks like another B side push and action unfolding at B.
And actions on B. Arrival finding an early nade kill, but Ball's able to take down Kirby before going down to Arrival. The side of 8 Basils has the B control, as they're going to be able to get that scan started. But on the mid side, you have Chewy getting a bit of situation, but Mad Dog's able to find that kill, just all down to Fakuko into a 1v3. Just alone, just tucked into backside, and it's the same situation that Chewy was in. Same exact scan spot. Has to clear out a couple of angles. But they don't expect Skylar to be in the corner, and that's the second round for 8 Basils.
On offense, no less here, Heritage. Just a pretty clean opener. You can see the hype in Kirby Dog. Mad Dog spinning their rifle around in celebration, and they're obviously feeling good on a good 0-2 opener here on offense on Miru. I mean, I typically feel like I see this start with defensive round wins.
I mean, Miru is a lot more even ground. Really shout out to Tarmac, who did create this map. But I think it's a lot more, especially with the high levels of play, it could swing our way. Because if you take advantage of that high ping and that time window to get trade, it does favor out the colonists a lot more, as Afterdot is going to be swinging on through. Mad Dog on the other side, able to take down Chewy, but Afterdot's able to find one before going down. But it's the same situation. That's going to give Skylar the post plant, and it's a trade on the other side between Arrival and Sumachi. Just down to another 2v2. Skylar swings and gets the pick onto Ball, just down to Fakuko into a 1v2. And Skylar's just tucked behind that box, and Kirby Dog from the main side will get that third. And they're starting to pull away.
Yeah, they are. This is a good, clean opener, at least. But we've seen this just earlier today on the EU region and yesterday, where we had these early 3-0, 4-0 leads that were then kind of slowly chipped away once the other teams settled in a little bit, understood the momentum, understood the pace. And I mean, at this pace, maybe eventually we'll see an adjustment from Vortex onto this B-side defense, anticipating what has been a pretty successful three pushes in a row onto B-site. I mean, that's some consistency that you got to kind of start to read into at some point if you are on the defense going up a squad like 8 Basils, because they may just continue to hammer home what works. Why fix what ain't broken?
Yeah, and the noise on the other side, that mini-map on there, number 9, that is Mad Dog trying to make some noise onto the 8 side to let the side of 8 Basils have this free push, as the only defender on B is Ball, but the nade on the other side, that's Utel being thrown. They're going to make this push. Ball's able to find one, able to find the second, but unable to get that third before going down. Frigg, behind those boxes, has to find the kill, but I think this might be the scan, be able to go through. Sumachi's able to find Mad Dog, as it's just down to a 4v2, and this looks very winnable for Vortex, as they do indeed get the kills. And that is going to be the first round of this map for Vortex.
Well, you know, you're talking about the best at this game. You're talking about, in the case of these two teams, ranks 4 versus rank 5. You know, they've been competing at a very high level against each other for, again, 11 weeks of regular season gameplay. And so for one to run away with a scoreline, I think would almost be unexpected. It would be more of a surprise than us getting to an 8-8 final for this map, quite frankly. You know what I mean? Like, I really do feel like these two teams super evenly matched. You look at their last match history, it was 23-23. And so this B side, this push that they're consistently deploying on 8 Basils, I don't think is necessarily unknown to the likes of Vortex, but it keeps working as we do get into this, and Afterthought swings out for a double. Arrival finds one and finally shut down on the backside by Fakuko, as they do have 2 3v3s here coming up on B side.
And 8 Basils has the player advantage, but Chewy as well as Fakuko are pushing from the Rayab spawns, trying to tuck in towards main. And the side of Vortex, they only were able to win a retake once, even though they had that player advantage, but it's going to be a trade, but it doesn't even matter. Kirby Dog finds Fakuko, and that is the 4th for 8 Basils. And I think this is just a pure dominance in terms of overall strategy coming in from 8 Basils.
I mean, at least on the offensive half, it's incredible how consistent they are pushing B and having success on it. But you're right, it is a dominant B side. They're dominating the B site here this afternoon on offense, no less on Miru. And like we were saying, this is a pretty even match, so to see it as one-sided as it is a surprise. There's still 3 rounds left in this map, and so they're in this half at least before we swap sides. So maybe a redeeming moment coming up here for the likes of Vortex on defense, as they do manage to pick apart a couple. Samachi on the backside shutting down this push on B, finally finding some success against this aggressive 8 Basil squad at B site. On the other side, we have Mad Dog picking apart Chewy and slowly chipping away on the Vortex kill lead.
Yeah, as 8 Basils try to make an aggressive push, and Sumachi realizing from the last previous rounds, they were going to heavily favor towards this B site. Sumachi, realizing this, is able to push towards that mid stairs and guarantee 2 kills and stop the execute from happening. And was able to slow it down, but I'm not sure if Sumachi realized that Mad Dog's on the stairs. Mad Dog makes it even down to a 2v2. And the side of Vortex have no information to work off. They have to play this guessing game of what side they're going to push through. But Skyla's on site, doesn't realize that Fakuko's on the site. Just down to Mad Dog into a 1v2, tries to swing through Sniper and gets shut down, as that's going to be the second secured for Vortex.
Nice bounce back and an opportunity for them to salvage this defensive half. They can still pull this off to a 4-4 before they do end up swapping sides and going on the attack themselves. I think that's probably the best outcome. If 8 Basils run away with any more offensive rounds, it is going to be challenging for Vortex to get enough on the board in order to bounce back on that scoreline on the attacking half, because it is a pretty even back and forth, and you really don't want one side to get too many rounds up, as we are seeing right now. This is going to be a big B-side push. Again, the consistent barrage heritage onto B.
Yeah, they keep pushing in because it doesn't work. But this time, Ball's able to find 2 and tosses to Utel for extra measure and finds another 2. It's a 4K defense from Ball, and it's just down to Mad Dog in a 1v5. Good luck trying to clutch that out.
Wow, what a amazing quadra kill.
Don't steal the ace, Sumachi. Let Ball have it. Just let Ball get aggressive. Find the 5. A knife throw there. Just won't find anything. But what a stop.
I mean, they've lost 2 already, though. This 1v5 is something that Mad Dog's trying to orchestrate here. a little over-aggression, a little overhype can be detrimental, especially at this level. Even with Mad Dog at a slice of HP, you can't afford to be uncautious with how good these players are at hitting their shots. It's something we talked about offline a little bit, Heritage. The aiming, key, obviously, in any of these shooters, a key factor, but something we don't hone in on enough, and it really stands out in VAIL. You hit your shots in the head, you succeed far more often than your opponent does, and so maybe an opportunity for a 1v3 as Mad Dog creeps and crawls through here, but definitely going to be a challenge with the full HPs of this
There
defense.
it is. That's the 5. That is an ace secured, the first ace of Group B, and wow. That's a highlight right there.
Oh, yeah. That whole round we can put into the books for Ballfinger, who picks up a double on the swing, a double on the nade, and cleans the round up, but not denying Samachi the 1v5 comeback, which had just been started there. Can they do it again? We'll see, but if you've done it, look at the nades, you know, if it's true to the name, definitely good job shutting down 8 Basils, and they shut down 8 Basils so hard that 8 Basils is now going to A site.
Yeah, they're pushing on A, and we've seen the exact same success onto B side. This 8 Basil teams will get aggressive. They will go into your face. They have the util. They know how to roll out utility. You look at the smokes, and it makes sense. They're able to smoke off these stairs, and Ball is just not able to find anything into a 1v4 because the amount of pressure, that was sudden. They're able to find Mad Dog, but they have to find the rest of the players of 8 Basils.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. 1v3. The nades are going to be vital. The utility hitting is going to be key and does not connect against any of these defenders who are all patiently waiting for that scanner to be interrupted. Going to be a definite hard swing here as they're getting pressured from both sides, and afterthought, not an afterthought. As 8 Basils maintain their player lead into the half, we swap sides. 8 Basils defend, Vortex attack. Is the side swap going to be what Vortex need here, Heritage, or is it going to only lead into 8 Basils' lead?
I mean, the way that Vortex has been playing, they need to find something. Because if the side of 8 Basils decide to switch it up, maybe play a lot more passive, that could probably give Vortex a chance to maybe come back, tied up to 5-5. But they should honestly just keep their aggression. As Mad Dog's able to find Sumachi with the nade, Rival on the other side, able to take down Frig before going down, trying to play a bit aggressive towards the long side. But Mad Dog there, able to find another before going down, and the push from Kirby and Skyla through the stair side leaves Fakugo into a 1v3 and can't find anything, as that's the 6, and they get the first round of the side swap.
I mean, blinking you'd have missed that pistol round. Heritage, that was an incredibly quick barrel down from Vortex on the B site, and an even faster rotation up through the middle from the defense of 8 Basils.
Yeah, they went aggressive, Mad Dog, as well as, oh no, that was Kirby Dog and Skyla, to just push through mid and push upstairs, because, you know, besides it being a pistol round, if they kept their same aggression from that first half, and they were able to use it to their advantage to stop the push and force Fakuko into this 1v3 that they didn't want to play.
What do we get here for the defensive hold? We'll have to see. As Vortex really slow the pace down a little bit off of what has been, Heritage, some pretty fast rounds. I mean, we're kind of ripping through map 1 right here as these two teams duke it out, and I do think that maybe that's been playing against Vortex a little bit. Maybe Vortex are thinking that as well, because this is definitely a much slower pace than literally the last 9 rounds we've been playing.
Yeah, I think Vortex are just trying to play based off information. Mad Dog's able to take down Ball with a beautiful nade towards the long side, but now but the side of Vortex are burning so much time. They only have 43 seconds left on the clock to work with, and they were only able to clear out a couple of information, and Sumachi tries to push on through, but Kirby Dog on the other side is able to take down Sumachi, just trying to cross on through. Arrival tucked behind that mid box. Just, I don't think it is going to be spotted, but the push has to come through now. There's only 30 seconds left. You're playing a 3v5, Frig, as well as Fakuko trying to push on through towards this A site. But there's 15 seconds left. They need to play on something. Chubi on the other side is able to take down Arrival. And just, but 10 seconds left, there's just no time to play on this. After Dot is able to take down Frigg, but if you're Vortex, you're just watching that time tick down.
Yeah, it is. Well, the 1v3, 1v2. Can't find the second there as Kirby cleans things up, and it's closer and closer to 8 Basils running away with their first map of the afternoon. 7-3, 2 points away from taking map 1 in this 2-map series. A reminder on how today works. We have 3 rounds to be played. Each round consists of 2 maps, and so each round you go up against a new opponent, and so this will be the only time 8 Basils and Vortex play against each other today. It'll be in these 2 maps. At the end of these 6 maps that get played, 3 rounds, we have 2 teams that are winners that advance on based on map wins. And so even rounds do matter. Every round does matter in case it comes down to a tie on map wins, which we almost had earlier yesterday in Group A. But the map wins are what decide at the front who is going to come out on top and who is going to be advancing on to the semifinals next weekend, who has a chance to play live at VRML Con, who has a chance at $5 grand in cash and prizing on top of HyperX hardware. It's a lot to be thinking about while you're also under fire and trying to defend B-site from the entourage of Vortex.
And push on through, but Mad Dog's just locking it down, and just as I say that, Kirby Dog's able to get the trade onto Samachi as its map point. And the side of 8 Basils are going to try and steal this away for round 12. But I think the question for me and you is there something Vortex can do to try and stop this map?
Outside of a map swap, putting on something fresh, something new, I don't see a easy outcome for the likes of this Vortex team. They've got a long comeback road ahead of them. They need 5 rounds in a row, which I think we've seen 8 Basils pull off, so maybe it's something that we can see in terms of a reversal from Vortex here, but they have to do it on offense no less, and if there was ever a map, it's Miru to do it on, so I think it's a possibility. I'm not counting out Vortex by any means, but obviously every round from here on must be a win, otherwise they are going to have that first map be a loss in this round-robin group stage, and you can afford 1 loss, maybe even 2, but that's the most you really want to take overall in this 6 maps round robin.
A more die-down pace for the side of Vortex to try and maybe find a pick. This time they're a lot more stacked towards this A site. Balls getting to an early station with Kirby Dog, but Kirby Dog best them out. Now Kirby Dog trying to swing on through, does not find Frigg. As now there's just only 1 defender left to defend the A site. The smoke there defending off Skyla, but Frigg and Sumachi are able to find 2 picks. They're able to get the side of, they're able to get control of A for free, and Chewy's able to get the scanner up. And now Fakugo's able to take down Skyla, just down to a rival into a 1v3 on a slitter of health. Good luck trying to do that. A push trying to find Chewy does not work.
Okay.
And the side of Vortex, this is game on.
Yeah, it is. This is the start. This is the momentum switch, potentially, that they needed. They finally found a successful attacking round there, and do they replicate it at the consistency that we saw at 8 Basils, where they constantly pushed in onto the same site that they won round after round until eventually they lacked success on that site. I don't know if that's the ticket. They need 5 rounds in a row, so I imagine some diversity is going to be necessary in terms of strategy, but that's to be determined as we get into round 13, and 8 Basils, well, again, just 1 round away from taking our first map of the afternoon in Group B.
A bit more die-down pace, and I think Vortex playing a lot more passive has been working out for them. But I think it's when they try to go from this beginning game to play a lot more passive, to try and execute into this middle game and try and find something, they kind of start to struggle a little bit. Now towards this mid side, there's nades being thrown, Ball losing their gun a little bit. Kirby Dog spots 1 between that mid stair. Just nothing the side of Vortex are able to find yet. A push on through, Skylar trying to find an early exchange. But now the side of Vortex have made good progress towards this map control. They're able to control mid and maybe a little bit towards the mid stairs. But they need to find at least some type of information on site. At least 1 pick on the side of 8 Basils. As Mad Dog's able to find Sumachi. this could be it. 35 seconds left on the clock for Vortex. Still a lot of time being wasted. Ball is able to find a trade there, and another trade goes through. 30 seconds left on the clock to work with. Chewy and Fakuko, the last one's alive as their dreams, but it's just down to Chewy into a 1v3. And 20 seconds left after dot behind the box, and a push on through with the mid side from Skyla, as that secures Miru for the side of 8 Basils. They take the first map of the first round of round robin. Solid, as Vortex are going to be starting off with a map loss.
Not ideal, but at least it wasn't a big loss. They put 4 rounds up on the board, and like I said, at the end of the day, rounds could matter. So a 9-4 opener does net the W into the hands of 8 Basils. And again, like you said, a solid opening here. We do have another series live right now, Hertaj. That is Acer versus Vanguard Gaming Ruby. And I am a little bit curious to see how that 8th place team is doing against the #1 squad right now. So maybe we could pop over to see how their maps are going. I think they should be on map 1 still, maybe on to map 2. We'll be bouncing around between games, but let's for now pop over and see if we can check out how the Acers series is going. Again, 2 maps played out across the board for these teams, and it does look like we have... Is the lobby even still? That would be discouraging.
It's up. It's
okay,
up.
okay. Oh, yep, you're right. I saw
it's up. While Nightfire is looking that out, I do have the stats. So Acer is up by 7, and Vanguard is currently up by 2. This is after sides. No, this is this is after side swap, and currently it's a 3-3. Meanwhile, we cut into the action. Haunted able to find Trey just down to Beck as well as Clev into a 2v3. But look at this, they're able to get the side of A for free, and now this retake is forced on the side of Vanguard. And look, that Quick is able to find Clef just down to back into a 1v3. Does spot 1 on the ramp. But one of the best shooters in the game to do it. And the swarm coming in from Vanguard is just too much for Acer to deal with, as they're able to get their 3rd round.
All right, so we're at the tail end of what I think is map 1 of this series between these 2 teams. And like you said, that's pretty solid to take 3 here against the #1 team. The seeding difference pretty substantial when you look at these 2 squads and their matchup history. Vanguard Gaming Ruby, last time they played Acer, 27-4. So in theory, they're competing for their best scoreline against Acer right now. They can tie the most they've ever scored against Acer with a round on defense if they have the ability here, as Vanguard Gaming Ruby do go on the defense. And we do dive into round 11 of this first map between Acer and Vanguard Gaming. A big shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and a reminder that we'll bounce back to 8 Basils versus Vortex for their 2nd map once this finishes. So worry not, we'll be ping-ponging between series and action, and we're underway here, Hertaj.
Yeah, and it's really big. It's a lot of action towards this mid side. Quick as well as Beck getting a bit to early action. Haunted's able to find Trey, but Beck wins that mid fight. Now it's just down to Beck and Clev. The duo has been absolutely, for those that are early, these 2 have been together for a very long time. Just down to those 2, but you look at your main map, Clev just gets the side of B for just absolutely free, and Beck's able to find Haunted. It's just down to Embryo into a 1v2. Does spot Clev, who is moving towards the B site, but I think they're just gonna try and go for this kill. They know where the last is. Beck definitely heard them, and it's gonna be a swing on through, and Beck gets the kill, as now it's facing map point here on Suna, with Acer having the advantage.
We're seeing some standout teams establishing themselves early in the group stage here, with Acer and 8 Basils both stepping up to the task so far in map 1. Acer still need a point to go, but certainly looking good here on their offensive half, no less, on Suna, as Vanguard Gaming fighting for every inch, need 5 rounds in a row, much like we saw in our series in that first map with 8 Basils and Vortex. Vanguard find themselves in an equally desperate situation and not afraid to get aggressive.
Nate there, coming in from back, try to find at least some pick, will be unsuccessful. Look at this push from Acer. They're pushing towards this A site. They're gonna have this advantage, but the side field in the same spot is gonna throw a nade, unable to find one, but they go down. And it's just the side of B for free, and it's just down to another 4v4. And Julian trying to go for this plant there. Clev's able to take down Haunted. That's trying to cross through towards the other side. Dank's able to take down Clev though, but Trey is able to find Quick. Just down to a 2v3. Embryo trying to push through Cat. And just Dank going down as well. Just down to Embryo into a 1v3. They definitely know where the last one is. Trey tries to go through with the one hand, unable to find one. It was a good effort there, but there's going to be 20 seconds left on that scanner remaining. Achilles and Julian against Embryo is trying to clear out a couple of these angles, trying to clear out backside, but does not clear out the ramp side, as that is the map for Acer. And just 3 rounds from the side of Vanguard. It's not bad.
No,
they're able to take out a couple of rounds. You know, they were like 1 round away from the other side. You know, that Vortex and 8 Basil's game. But
against the
it's a bit of a good showing.
Against the #1 seed.
Number one seed of North America.
You're coming in out of the Challenger Cup. I mean, I think 3 is good. It's not enough to win by any means. Acer obviously stepping up to the task, winning solidly there on map 1. But we now bounce out of this into the other series with 8 Basils versus Vortex. And curious to see where we're headed for our second map there. As I guide us over back to that series, Heritage. This is it. This is today. We're going to be ping-ponging between maps and action, and quite frankly, it's nothing but high-octane back and forth, and we only get breaks really in between rounds, so do be making sure.
Well, thankfully for you, we don't have to wait on action, because they got someone on the A Basil side got hit with a tech issue. So that's convenient for us.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we want to stick with the Acer match, if they want to go straight into it. But yeah, unfortunately, there is a tech issue on the side of 8 Basils.
I see everyone in lobby now, so I wonder if it's been sorted and we're just waiting for them to start. But we'll wait and see, I suppose. While we have I guess a brief moment between maps, a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. They include obviously Axe Labs coming in and supporting the VRML with $10,000 into that cash prize pool that gets distributed between NA and EU, giving NA a first place prize pool of $5,000. On top of Axe Labs sponsoring flights for the top 2 North American teams to fly out to VRML Con to play their grand finals live on stage.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off there, Nightfire. Acer and Ruby are just about to start up.
It's okay. So, I'm going to get through my ad read first before we dive into action. We'll miss some rounds. I'm not too worried about it.
Miss some rounds,
I'm more worried about pushing VRML Con. You can't cut off that ad read. Come on now. As we do, again, have tickets live right now on sale. July 20th and 21st is what these teams are competing for. They want to be on that stage for their grand finals, and that's going to be decided next weekend. And so on top of everything, with Axe Labs sponsoring the flights out for North America, on top of HyperX coming in and contributing in $2,000 in hardware giveaways that'll be live at that convention, there's a lot to look forward to with demos, booths, and giveaways live at that convention, from skins to HyperX gear. There's a lot to look out for at VRML Con. It's 2 days of action-packed content that'll be produced live for you, both at the event, so you can buy tickets, or on this stream. And again, that's July 20th and 21st. You can get your hotel right now for the convention. The deal exclusive to VRML Con attendees, only available until the 25th of this month, so you got to get in on that hotel deal soon. And again, something to look forward to, as I suppose now, after people are well informed about VRML Con and hopefully going to get their tickets right now. And if you haven't gotten your ticket, well, you can still enter in to the HyperX giveaway that we have live right now, where you can get yourself a free ticket to VRML Con. All you got to do is enter into the Woo Rise giveaway link that we'll be posting in chat. follow HyperX on a couple of different channels, and you'll get multiple entries into a giveaway that's going to be going live every single weekend. There's headsets, there's tickets, there's a lot on the line on this HyperX giveaway, so do please be sure to tune in to that and sign up for it if you haven't already. But we are now going to check out the Acer versus Vanguard second map of the afternoon, as we do head into where are we headed for map 2, Hertog?
We went to Miru, which I think we expected this pick. No one's gonna go Key, because you are heavily favored if you start as Rayab. So I think we'll be expecting a lot of Suna and Miru. So meanwhile, this funny little thing is playing, I'm pretty sure, and yeah. Nice. I guess I'll cue in on what the situation is. Acer is currently up by 2-0. I think kind of expected, and they are currently starting as the colonist side, so they are attacking as that in the first half. It is currently down to a 5v4 on my server feed, as finally we are going back right into the action. You look on this B side, and the overall push is there, and the side of Acer are able to push in a little bit of a knife throw there. Fortunately, unable to find one. And utility thrown, maybe try to find a bit of cover. Nade toss as well. Smoke there. Not sure where that went. Haunted's able to find Trey, just down to a 4v3 with Vanguard in the bit of advantage. But they kind of over-rotated a little bit. Seifeld's able to find Beck. But if they just know that there's only one defender on this A side, they're just going to go for it. And Julian's just pushing on through. On the other side towards this mid, just down to Clev as well as Seifeld into this mid fight. Nade's going to be thrown, a frag grenade tossed, and unfortunately unable to find one. No damage received. And a push through. Seifeld's able to take down Clev, just down to Julian into a 1v4, trying to bait with the scanner. And a swing on through towards the stair side, a push through. Able to find Embryo first, but without going down to Haunted, as that's going to be the first round for Vanguard.
And again, the Challenger Cup victor, the team that pushed through a onslaught of weekend action, round-robin group stage into a best-of-3 finale. They managed to now challenge the #1 seed and are continuing to challenge them. I mean, they put up 3 points against them in map 1. They've got a 1-2 map 2 here, an opportunity to tie the scoreline against the #1 seed, something that I'm sure this Vanguard Gaming Ruby team has to be somewhat, again, proud of. This has to instill some semblance of confidence into them as they continue to fight against this Acer team. And a nice move out there from Quick, finds Achilles in through the smoke, dives into the smoke themselves as Dank pumps rounds through and picks up a kill. Quick tucks into a tight corner and picks up a third, an absolute shutdown on B site as we do tie up the scoreline 2-2 on map 2.
It's so chaotic. The round doesn't even say that what the heck just happened. It's a blink and you miss it. And 3 smokes to cover the entire side of B. I'm not sure if you fully caught it, but that was, I think, the kind of saving ground for Vanguard.
Indeed it was, as we do get back into, again, this Miru map 2 of Acer versus Vanguard, as Vanguard tie things up on defense, and Acer maybe going to try to switch things up with an A-site rotation. Early nades in utility, giving away a bit of information, and the triple smoke certainly should be an indicator that the push is coming in to A-site. A nice counter nade from Quick over the top as Beck is battling back an artillery barrage coming in here from this Vanguard Gaming Ruby defense, and we're into a 4v4.
Just a 4v4 down to a 2v3 actually. And the scan is going to go active. Just down to Embryo and Seifeld into a 2v3. And in a situation like this, especially on A, if you get a certain plan, especially if you get it on A, there are so many options to try and view this from. And if you look there, especially with that tunnel side, as Clev's able to find Embryo just down to Seifeld, who's going to try and clear out the tunnels. Finds one, but they have to clear out the side towards towards the A main. Clev definitely has heard the audio cue, gonna back up and going to swing through, and it's gonna be the double swing from Acer, and that is the third secured for Acer. And I think the side of, I think something I spotted was Vanguard will usually send one player towards his mid side, but in that favor they'll usually have one by the Rayab spawn just as that flex, just in case if one needs reinforcement. If the side of Acer spots this and they're able to make this theory craft of if they could just overwhelm one specific site, I think especially towards A, because if you overwhelm A, there's not a lot of options the side of Vanguard could do, but the side of Acer have opted to choose B.
Well, at least 2 have. We'll see if this is going to be a side push. It could be a draw from the defense to pull them here. As Quick fights over A site and runs into some resistance. Trey goes down with the nade as another smoke pushed up and in control on B site, but Scanner is nowhere near B site. And a matter of fact, it's down and being defended by the defense right now at A.
Yeah, but Clev's able to retrieve that Scanner in hand. Then Embryo under that tunnel side. He's trying to play a bit of autocued. Seinfeld's able to take down Achilles. And Embryo's on that flank. Maybe to try to find a single one, but Quick's able to find back just down to Clev into a 1v5. And this could definitely secure the lead and maybe the potential draw. As Clev's able to find one, but unfortunately unable to find Dank. As Vanguard have made it even 3-3.
Map 2 is, well, not going as easy as it did for Acer in Map 1. I mean, I suppose we did have 3 points locked in by Vanguard Gaming Ruby in Map 1, and maybe now Acer will turn it on and not allow another point through from Vanguard Gaming Ruby, but that is no easy task. We still have a few rounds left in this half, and then we will swap sides and go into that pistol round when we get to round 9, so it's hard to keep momentum and consistency going when you do have to swap over to the attacking side and kind of change up your strategies, go to the pistol round.
Oh, look at this. The side of Acer, they just pushed in. They just got B. They got B. They're able to get this post plant, and Hunt is able to find Achilles with a grenade, but it's too late. The side of Acer have this post plant, and the retake has to go perfectly, as it could have for the side of Vanguard. Just down to a 3v3. Julian is on critical health. And nade being thrown, trying to clear out the short side. But the side of Acer, they could play this as passive as they want. They have that scanner in their favor. A trade makes it even down to a 2v2. 20 seconds left. Haunted has to be that next line of defense. But Dank's going to be pushing on through the smoke. The Calf is going to be audible. The scan's going to start. And Dank's able to find one. This could be it. But Clev's able to find Dank. But the scan's going to be holding. And it's successful as Ruby take the lead on Acer. And it's a retake gone pretty damn well.
Indeed it is, as they go up for the first time against the #1 team in the region. You're looking at an unheard of scoreline this afternoon that I don't think anyone would have anticipated us seeing today, as Vanguard Gaming Ruby, the 8th seed, the team qualifying through Challenger Cup, are right now giving Acer, the #1 team in the region, a hard time. Giving Acer, a team that I think most people thought would be qualifying into the NA Finals at VRMLCon, a hard time. And, well, maybe Acer are going to be ignited off of this challenge as we get into the final round of the half, and they already lead with an early kill.
Down to a 3v5 for the side of Vanguard. Utility trying to be thrown, knives are being tossed as well, but Quick's able to find Trey with that AK in hand. A spray on through, but they don't realize that Beck just walked on in. They just held the stick forward and they found 2 and finds 3 right there. And they have made it 4-4. Why stick it last round when all you could just do was push through the smoke?
Yeah, that's the danger of a team like Acer, is when you are that #1 squad, you are no stranger to a little adversity. You know, they do get challenged. They are playing against the best over the course of the regular season, and so while Vanguard certainly put up a good contest there, the side swap, the pistol round, it could mean a big shift in momentum if they're not careful for really either one of the sides here. Vanguard Gaming Ruby could really set their foot and plant it on the defense and get themselves back into the lead 5-4, or we could see Acer starting to run away with the back half of this series.
Acer could pull this off, it's more than likely, but Seifeld's able to find Julian towards the mid side. Side there. Trey trying to find one. They do spot the player that is towards the mid side. But look at this push coming in from Vanguard. They're pushing onto A. And Embryo's able to find Beck as they have control of A site. Down to a 5v3. Nate's being thrown. Achilles able to find Dank. It's just now the scan is up and running. Quick's able to find Trey, and the last two are towards this Rayab spawn. Achilles able to find Embryo, and the smoke's being tossed in, and the cops are definitely heard. Clev and Achilles pushing through. Clev trying to push through the bunker side, able to find one with the MK in hand. Achilles just left alone into a 1v1 against Quick, and just dancing with the scanner. Quick pushing on in, and it's maybe a potential one-hand. A dance through, dancing with the stick, doesn't even matter. A nod on the finger with Quick there. Is the side of Vanguard take their 5th. And I really don't want to. Oh, I know it's Acer. No, you forgot to swap the sides.
Oh, did I?
Yep. This is why you gotta co-cast.
Yep. Good thing you're here. I thought I hit that button, but no.
Thankfully, I don't have to go into YouTube chat and spam you.
No, sir.
And this is the potential that maybe I really don't want to jinx it, but I think maybe I'll talk about it at if they get a 7.
Yeah, they've got a ways to go.
I've talked about it before in Breachers. I rather not speak of it.
We have a long ways to go yet left for either one of these teams to get themselves a victory. 4 points needed for Vanguard, 5 needed for Acer before they lock in a map win, and that can come quick. That can be done in 5 minutes, depending on the pace. As we crack open things here in the first minute and 30. As some kills come through, and you know, Vanguard Gaming Ruby very quickly cut apart to just 2 in this 2v4.
Scanner heading towards the side of A. I'm not sure if Quick heard the reload there, but they're able to find it. But then Quick is just left alone into a 1v3. The side of Acer knows where Quick is at, and it's the post plant there. Nades being thrown, maybe find a piece of utility, and now Acer are gonna set themselves up for a pretty easy retake, as Quick has to relocate towards the tunnel side. It's going to be thrown because they know where Quick is going to be. That takes a good amount of damage, and Achilles there, able to take the trade as it's fully even, down to another 5-5.
I mean, Acer aren't letting this one go. They're not going to give Vanguard Gaming Ruby an easy win, and I mean, it's not what you would expect, frankly, again, when you look at the match history. Last time they faced off, Acer won 27-4. And so, to the point, Vanguard definitely have beaten their record of points against Acer in a series already in these, just in this map alone, but obviously over the course of this series. So, an improvement overall that maybe Acer are getting caught off guard by, quite frankly, here, as they do struggle to get a good lead locked in on Miru.
And they're close it off, but Quick and Dank immediately off the bat find 2 players of Acer, and they're gonna try to make their way towards this B site. They're gonna have to deal with Achilles as well as Julian, but Achilles is able to find one, finds a second, able to stop the push of Vanguard, as it's just down to a 3v3 towards the mid side. Zyfield's able to find Trey, as well as the smoke fades. Achilles gets spotted just down on Julian into a 1v3. A minute 15 left on the clock. And I think they know, yeah, this is a really good call there. They know that Julian is on this B site. So they're just going to make their way all the way to A. And it looks like it's going to be heavily favored for the side of Vanguard to win their 6.
Yeah, this is a big moment right now for Julian, because can they step up to the challenge and deliver to the Acer name, locking in a big 1v3 clutch. The health pools lend it to be possible, but if they don't find Quick, which they don't, they'll go down. And a really nice offensive set from Vanguard Gaming Ruby right now. I do see questions in chat. Are you telling me this is the best of 2? No. I was very clear, trying to be clear, and always will be very clear on this. This is a 2-map series. It's not a best of 2. It is 2 maps, guaranteed, played out. Both teams get to pick 1 map apiece, and they play those 2 maps to their completion. At the end of those 2 maps, they move on to another matchup against another team for another 2 maps. That's sort of the way that this format works this afternoon. It is not a best of 2. That would mean we'd only have played 1 map, and we're into the 2nd map right now, with Acer leading in map 1, 9-3, and here Vanguard Gaming Ruby leading 6-5 in map 2. An impressive feat, Heritage, that again, I don't think anyone really would have seen coming diving into this series this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected Vanguard to have this lead against Acer. And knows it's going to be a push on through towards this tunnel side. Trey's able to find Quick. But meanwhile, over towards the mid-section, Julian's able to find Embryo. And meanwhile, towards the action towards B. Now, this is actually a staggering push. But then spots Clev. It's going to be a trade on through, just down to a 3v2 in the favor of Acer. But Acer have the scanner, which is located towards this tunnel side. And Vanguard has to try and retrieve this. But now Acer could just set themselves up to defend this.
That's exactly what they're going to do here, Heritage. They're going to tuck in, lock into the scanner, and make it very hard for Haunted or Seifield to make their way down here as Julian, playing that linchpin, the front point of the defense, finds the double kill, the 1 for 2, and we continue to trade back and forth. Vanguard Gaming Ruby are not going to be gifted an easy map win if they do receive it. It will be hard fought and hard earned because Acer are not going to let go at any point in this 2-map series this afternoon as, again, our second map unfolds in a very interesting way. And we're tied 6-6, round 13. The number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed. This close. I mean, Heritage, we said this group stage was going to be crazy, but I didn't think we'd kick it off like this.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be this close. And Clev swings on through, finds one, but it's only good for just a single player. Just down to another 4v4 towards the midsection. Seifield finds Julian, and now it favors towards Vanguard. Nade's being thrown, unfortunately unable to find one towards the mid side. Push through towards B. Seifield, on the other hand, towards main, is able to find Trey. Just down to Achilles and Beck into a 2v4.
Yeah, this is not an easy task ahead of them. Vanguard have the clear advantage, but we've seen big clutches coming through, and if there's ever to be a team that can orchestrate together as a duo, it's going to be the Acer team. It's going to be the number 1 team in the region that's only lost 1 time all season long, correct? Are they going to get a second map loss here this afternoon? Who knows? We're about to find out.
Oh, they're not going to read this. They're not going to read this. Vanguard's so focused on this side towards B. They know that Beck's there, but they don't anticipate this flank coming in from Achilles. You look on your mini-map, the number 1, they don't realize it. This could be huge, but they probably made enough momentum towards side to refocus, and Quick gets spotted. That's the scanner down. But the push there coming in from main. And Seifield, a bit of a whiff right there. Doesn't even matter to trace there, but ooh, a close call for Vanguard.
Yeah, but it's the round. It's the lead. It's 2 points away, 3 points away, excuse me, from taking a map against the number 1 seed. And man, what a time to tune in. If you are just stopping by, you stopped in at a great moment. The series just unfolding, I suppose just finishing with this second map, but the day only beginning today, Heritage. This is only round 1 of 3 rounds to be played. We still have 4 maps left after this to comb through and watch these teams battle it out against each other. So there's a lot to look forward to, if not within the immediate rounds, with the next couple of hours as we dive back into round 14. Quick opening things up, and B-side getting a little bit of action with Embryo, but the main dish rotating over to A.
Vanguard might be backpedaling this. They don't realize that B's open.
Wide open.
Embryo doesn't make that call. They don't try and maybe clear it out. Yes, they had it, but now the side of Acer, they're able to finally reposition. And even though they're a player down, they're able to just maybe play with a lot more information. You have Clev there trying to defend B. Now push has died down. Push there, a trade coming in from Beck, able to find Embryo. It's a 1-to-1 trade, just down to a 4v3, 55 seconds left to play. I think the question is the utility advantage just there? The side of Vanguard right there, they have an impact grenade, they have frag grenades to work with, they have 4 compared to with just only 1 smoke. But then gets spotted towards the mid stairs. The push through coming in from Quick. It's going to be overwhelmed, but Haunted is just open right there. Achilles able to find Dink towards the mid stairs. And just like that, a nade thrown from Quick, unsuccessful, just down to Seifield into a 1v3. And Vanguard just had the advantage as Clev is able to get the trade there. And it's a tie right again.
I mean, like I said, if there's going to be a win and it's locked in by Vanguard, it's going to come down to 8-8. And at this pace, we're headed there. Heritage 7-7. And when we get to 8-8, the next round decides the winner. You know, the first to 9 in VAIL. There is no ties, and that could be a reality for Acer if they're not careful. They could take this 9-7, come away with a 2-point lead on map 2, which I don't think, again, anyone would have anticipated from Vanguard Gaming. Or they could lose a map as Clev kicks things off nicely.
They just gets caught off guard. Clev is just swinging on through. They're pre-firing this. Nade's going to be thrown. Just to deny the push there. Quick trying to throw another one as well. And look at Acer. The fact that they're going with double grenades is buying time as Trey's able to find Haunter, but Seinfeld's able to find 2. And it's just down to back to an even 3v3. And the push on there. You look at the push. And they are heavily committed towards this B site. Smokes there towards mid. Trying to deny the vision there. But Beck's able to find Quick. Making this down to a 3v2. The main fragger of Vanguard's gone. And just like that, another one is gone. Seifeld left alone into a 1v3. And just a team like that does find Trey. And 19, a scoreline like that, 19-10, you expect him to do something good, but the scanner is down. Achilles as well as Beck double swing onto it, as that is map point heading in Acer's favor.
It is indeed, as they get to that all elusive, quite frankly, map point here in our second map of the start of this group stage. We got 4 more to play after this, as a reminder, so this is only the beginning. And, I mean, honestly, if you're watching this from any one of the teams, you know, the other 2 teams that are playing right now, and you're maybe finished with your series and you're watching, maybe you're a little bit more worried about Vanguard Gaming, Ruby, than you initially were starting in this group stage.
Dank right there with the Grot B in hand. That thing is unsuccessful. Pretty questionable gun to use, but Julian's able to find Haunted, and just like that, not even 30 seconds in, 2 players of Vanguard are immediately down. A trade there from Embryo and Clev. Seifeld does find one, but down to a 2v3. Trey able to take down Seifeld, just down to Quick into a 1v3. Does have the scanner in hand, but to go against a team like Acer, just having the rest of those players alive in hand, not knowing where any of them could be. I'm not sure if Quick will spot the cape of Beck, as now the rotates are going to be coming in. As Acer, they're going to try and isolate this map. They know they're clearing this map one by one. Quick is going to be pushing on through, does not spot the cape in time, and that is Acer stealing it away. And it was a really, really good effort there from Vanguard.
Stealing it indeed, as Vanguard again nearly taking a map against the #1 seed. A heck of an opener for them, and quite frankly, I have my eyes on Vanguard for the remainder of today, because they put on a great show against another dominant Acer win. 2 maps locked in from Acer. Curious to see how the other series unfolded and where we're left off with Vortex and 8 Basils on their matchup. I don't believe it'll be still live. I imagine, unless they started pretty late after, maybe there's a chance. We'll do our best to jump in if we can, but Heritage, are we seeing their matchup still? I think so,
it's
right?
there. They're on Suna. I am not sure what the scoreline is.
All right, let's jump
think
there.
if they were on tech issues. Yeah. But it's 3-8. We could probably catch the last round right now. So
okay.
If you want to tune in, probably do the graphics a bit more later. But we do have to get in on this really, really fast.
We're here.
But yeah, 8 Basils, they have managed to pull it away. I think a bit of a similar stat compared to Vanguard. Having only secured 3 rounds. Now the push there coming in from 8 Basils. They're heavily favored towards this B side, and look at the rollout coming there. Ball immediately goes down, and the B side's open. They're going to be able to get the scan. Fizzy trying to shoot on through the smoke there. Frigg's able to find Afterthought. Nades are being tossed. Fizzy trying to push through Catwalk, unsuccessful, and it's just down to Fakuko and Sumachi into a 2v3 to keep them alive. Fakuko trying to push on through, but it's Sumachi towards this long side, but they have angles. Kirby Dog trying to look on towards long. A peek on through. They don't expect 2 towards the barrier side. Kirby Dog swings, finds 1. And it's just down to Fakuko pushing on towards the cat side. And I'm pretty sure this could be it. A swing through on arrival guarantees Vortex the second. And both Vortex and Acer have won both of their respective maps. And Yeah, that is very, very quick compared to the other series.
Yeah, well, a 9-3 and solid win there from Vortex. I think I had the teams on the wrong side there as we jumped in and I kind of scrambled, but a solid win there on that map. And I think that's, like you said, 2 maps from Vortex across the board there, 2 maps from Acer. So we've got.
Did I say Vortex?
Did you? I had 8
Basils.
Basils, right? Okay, so I had it right. You said it wrong. Yes. Okay, so it was 8 Basils that won that map, and so you're right. 8 Basils have 2, right? They won that first.
8
map.
Basils have won both, and
Right.
as well as Acer, they have won both. So respectively, there is no tie.
It could
into
still
the first round.
in the first round, yeah, we could still see it unfold depending on how things go. Because next round, round 2, we have Acers versus 8 Basils, which we're definitely going to be jumping into to kick things off, and then Vortex versus Vanguard, which I'm quite interested in, quite frankly, to see how Vanguard battles up against Vortex at that number 5 seed. But some great series coming up. We have to go to a brief break. Me and Heritage need a quick hydration break, a quick breather, as we do get ready for more intense action. Because, I mean, Heritage, this has already been an amazing opening 2 maps for us, and we got 4 more to go.
Yeah, we got a lot more action
Oh, yeah.
heading into it, and if that Acer Vanguard match was just, you know, probably the closest one, I don't want to see. I kind of want to see what we kind of expect heading into to next 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting couple of matches. Don't go anywhere. We're going to cut to a brief break, and when we come back, Acer versus 8 Basils and Vortex versus Vanguard Gaming Ruby for round 2 of the North American Round Robin. There's Taquito again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3.
Oh no! Mitchell is right on top placement. And there's a double kill that comes in from Cozy Conceit. Hit to the EMP inside. Sweeper trying to shoot in. Oh my god! No! That's 5, 4, 3.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hello and welcome to the VAIL VR Master League. My name is Chumbate, and I've got the #1 team in VAIL right now. It's Acer. Today, Julian, Tech9, Clev, and Beck are speaking with us. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling?
Great.
Good. Good.
I'm really looking forward to what kind of shenanigans you guys pull off in the postseason. I mean, there's nothing more exciting than seeing the top teams just pull off the impossible. What's the team energy right now going into the finals?
I think we're feeling great. We had that wreck loss behind our backs, but I think we overcome that. You gotta lose. We're very proud and happy. It's a perfect time to lose right off the start, because then you like get humbled. We're working, we're watching VODs. I think that's just like kickstarted us. There's anger now, We're all fueled. I think we're ready to go as a team. We're feeling great.
Yeah, one thing to mention is definitely that loss has humbled us, and we know what to expect going into the next matches. Like, we know not to, especially because semis and round robin here for LAN, we don't really want to take another loss like that.
Awesome. No, and speaking of which, you know, you guys have done amazing. 12 weeks in, 12 weeks out, despite that wrecked loss, you guys made it past the Challenger Cup. How do you feel about that?
You know, like I did see it coming. If anything, I mean, 8 teams is a lot of teams. I mean, I don't know how many teams played, but I feel like considering like our skill level, I feel like that was like I feel like getting top 8 was pretty easy. All right, just like it was just kind of like a given, I guess. We played for a while.
Clev, how about you? Were you expecting to be in the top 7 this first season?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Because there were a lot of new teams that definitely started in VRML, and I'd say only at most like 6 or 7 teams that played in the past, and we were one of those teams. And I think that we just kept our experience, which really gave us a spot to get here.
Another thing is the diversity of our team is very broad. We casted a wide net when we recruited our players, and we all came from separate top teams in other games. And I think as a collective, all that knowledge came in like a big pot, and that just really boosts us over. I think that's what we have above the other players and other teams as an organization. So I don't know. I think we're feeling great going into this. I think we're going to pull some stuff out people have never seen before, do the same old, same old. The energy's great.
I'm pumped, Beck. You know, Taquito's not here with us to share more about the exact founding, and I guess Achilles as well. But hey,
I was here.
Yeah, Julian and Tech were founding fathers, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What am I saying? You guys individually, I'll start with Julian and Tech first. What was the most difficult part about this season of VRML as individual players?
You know, I guess it's just more availability. Like, we all got our own lives going on. We got stuff. You know, I had some scheduling issues when I met a significant other in real life. You know, that can definitely put some pressure on us, especially with scheduling. We don't know like who's playing well. We don't even really have a main roster.
No.
So it definitely did not help contribute to that.
Do you guys have any other, without sharing team secrets, do you guys have any other plans on how to strategize going into the finals of VRML?
Going into round robin here, especially with that loss, I think what we got to just work on is just like locking in more. You know, like it's fun playing with friends and just trying to have fun, but once you take a loss, it's kind of humbling. So I think from like here on out, we're just trying to lock in more.
And any teams you guys are worried about going into the finals?
Determined.
Yeah, determined's definitely a strong one. I mean, they've done this in every game. Normal season, they just don't really care a lot, and then they start to lock in at the end. Really start to show off like who they are. You know, they're definitely a really strong team, and they just haven't shown it until now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we still have a pretty good chance. Above average,
I think
maybe.
I'm still confident we can beat every team.
Beck, any other teams off the top of your head that you're kind of worried about, or you just know are gonna put up a fight?
There's obviously teams we have not played in a while, or scrimmed, or know how they play on this 8-team roster we have. But I think the raw skill that we have as a team kind of minimizes our risk there. So I think it really comes to determine strategy, and Vortex has been known to pull some funky things. They are the MVM champions, as we see.
Right
so I think they can do some funny stuff. Wrecked, if Rise is playing, is a phenomenal team if Rise is playing.
Yeah, if Rise is playing.
That's really good.
If Rise is playing.
8 Basils. I don't know what's going on with them recently. Did they lose a player or not? But they have beaten us in the past. But I think the biggest worry right now is Determined. So.
Yeah.
But they're not in our group tomorrow, so we won't really need to worry about them until semis. We just need to focus on beating 8 Basils, which are our biggest competition tomorrow.
Wait, we're fighting them in semis?
We don't know yet. It depends. Wait,
we'll see.
We should be fighting Wrecked.
We will see. We will see.
We'll see. At the end of the round robins, everything will be a little bit clearer. But you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day talking with us. You guys have locked in and focused so hard. You know, Acer is just a spectacular team with an incredible reputation. I cannot wait to see what you guys do. Thank you so much.
You.
There's Taquito again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3.
Oh no! Big Rulers right on top, listen. If there's a double kill that comes in from Cozy can hit to the EMP inside. Oh my god! No! That's 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to Season 1 of the NA Round Robin Group Stage. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. If you are just tuning in, you've missed 2 maps of already fantastic gameplay and back and forth heritage. We're now getting ready to dive into, I do believe, oh yeah, we don't have info on how to get into that Vanguard Gaming Ruby lobby, otherwise we would. But we will be waiting patiently for 10 out of 10 to fill in the 8 Basils versus Acer matchup here, which is going to be the upcoming match between these 2 teams. I'm very interested to see how this unfolds with how they both have been playing. Both teams undefeated, both winning 2 of their first 2 maps in this group stage, and so there's a lot on the line when you do dive into this series now. And I mean, what are your thoughts with matchup history and everything between these 2 squads?
This could probably swing either way. I know that 8 Basils have been improving in that towards the end of the regular season. Although that previous counter does say a bit something else, you know, Acer winning 27-18. I honestly think I'm not sure when it was the last time they played. They played probably like a while ago. But I think with a couple of roster moves, they have shown that they are capable of putting up numbers against Acer. And even though the side of, I believe, Acer have been pretty dominant, they have started to show signs, you know, losing a couple of rounds against teams like 8 Basils, Rex as well. I think that's a big one.
Yep.
But they have that potential of maybe stealing a couple of maps from Acer. But I feel like Acer just has that overall coordination and aim skill to just maybe pull it out in the end.
Yeah, and we'll do our best to get the details, so hopefully we can tune into the Vanguard Gaming Ruby, because we could be watching that match right now. But it does look like we do have 10 in and ready to go. So we should be kicking things off here with our second round soon enough, Heritage. And it's going to make this third round real interesting because there's a lot of different ways that this can unfold. As we do get in, to the nitty-gritty of this second round, we could have teams go 3-3. One of these teams, both these teams could go 3-1, and then in round 6, we could have a 4-way tie for a 3-3 4-way tie across all teams. There's that possibility of something like that happening, and that's the thrill of the postseason. Is are we gonna see these close tie battle out to the final round moments, or is it gonna be dominant performances from the top squads like we've seen with Acer and 8 Basils so far this afternoon? We're ready to dive in now to the action for Miru between these two teams as we waited long enough, Heritage, and I'm curious on your thoughts for this as an opener. I certainly do think it's going to give us a good opportunity for a good fun back and forth between these two teams.
Starting off as the Rayabs and 8 Basils on the other side will be starting, as you do need to swap those teams, unfortunately. There you go. So, right off the rip, down to a interesting strat coming in from 8 Basils. They're sending 4 straight into B site.
Utility coming out over the top, a nice flash that I think catches Clev, and Nades following that up, nearly tagging Clev out. A good smoke, denying vision of both Clev and Beck, and giving away audio cues for Afterthought to try and work with, but Beck makes Afterthought, and Afterthought finds the kill, looks for more, can't get it. Julian picks up a double, and B site chaotically under their control into a 2v2.
And Skylar off the rip, just doing the absolute most for 8 Basils. That's able to find one. Just find one more. This might be the ace potential. Minute 15, Skylar's gonna rep all the way back towards ace site. They had the push, and I just don't think Acer was ready for it.
The opening map of this 2-map series. And this rotation is gonna work. 1 kill away from an ace opener. That would be one way for 8 Basils to kick things off against the #1 seed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a way. A smoke tossed in. Trey pushes on through. It's gunshots being exchanged, bullets being shot, and both with the PL-14. What do you do? Just in hand. A knife throw try to find something, but Trey's gonna push through, and it's just a dance between each other, and Trey is able to close it out. No ace potential there. And the first round goes to Acer.
It's the clutch it's the clutch moments, Heritage, that really stand out for me with Acer. When it's 7-7, they get the 2 rounds they need to win 9-7. When they're down 1-3, they find the 1v3 clutch. And that's something that somehow persists across this franchise from game to game even, which I think is even more impressive as a metric to me than anything, that they do just continue to be able to deliver in those clutch moments as a team.
8 Basils trying the exact same strat again. This time a little bit more of a default defense coming in from the side of Acer. The stack there is pushing on in. Julian's able to find Mickle, but a rival responds with a nade back. A push through coming in from Afterthought, but it's a nade from Skyla to clear it out, and B is in control. As Skyla's gonna get the post plant there, down to a 4v3. The action's gonna be heading towards mid. Mad Dog's able to find Julian. And Achilles there, but Mad Dog's able to find Trey, just down to Achilles into a 1v4. Just what can the sweet do? Does find one, does find 2! And this could be the clutch potential in hand.
Oh my.
A smoke toss, maybe try to find a single player with the cough. A rival tuck behind the box, and unfortunately Achilles puts their M4 down. And that gives 8 Basil their first.
Keeping this thing close, and yeah, it's Group B, and like we were saying, this is maybe the strongest group. There's no easy points for any one of these teams. I'm surprised, honestly, with just how much 8 Basils did win in their series against Vortex. What was it, 9-4 map 1, 9-3 map 2, something like that. But you know, they won handedly in their series, in their 2 maps there, and they're coming up against Acer right now with a good contest until the 1-for-1 goes wrong there at B side, and 8 Basils continue their push.
Continuing their push through. A nade there, just straight off, rips off Afterthought. but the plant's gonna be there through towards the mid side. Mad Dog's able to find Trey. Julian behind the boxes, but Mickle swings on through, only good for one. Just down to another 1v1, Achilles and Mad Dog. But Mad Dog's on critical health. A spray towards the boxes, maybe find at least one lucky wall bang. But there's the scan coming on through. It's gonna be a fake. Gonna be timing Mad Dog. What a read to maybe realize that Achilles is not gonna go. Just hold it. And Nate there, prime, tossed. Achilles there has to back off. It's gonna be another M4, but 30 seconds left. Time is dwindling, and just whiffed a Glock in hand. Not good for anything. And 8 Basils gets another round in their hands.
And the lead for the first time in the series. They'll take a 2-1 advantage against this Acer squad as, well, it's a nice opener, but now we get into the nitty-gritty of this half, at least, Heritage, where the full buys and the repeat strats, and what are you going to deploy round to round to round to try and overwhelm or surprise what is an otherwise very prepared #1 team in the region? 8 Basils barreling into B-site again. B-site seems to be where they want to apply the pressure this afternoon as a rival picks up a key double, enabling them to even push here further, but they'll be left alone in the dirt as the entirety of 8 Basils get picked apart by an aggressive Acer defense. Quite frankly, Heritage extending deep into the back of A site and maybe reading that B site rotation a little bit too hard.
Yeah, and you realize there are those 2 weapons that Beck and Clef have in their hands. That Vidias is actually one of the more powerful guns if you're playing a lot more up close compared to the M4. Just can't deny the amount of damage it could do towards the body. And the closer you are, the more it does to an M4. So that's why you see the aggression coming in. And Clev is just gonna do the same thing with the Vidias in hand. It's good for one, but after that, we're trading that back. But Beck with the grenade in hand. Beck is just coughing in the smoke. Push on through, find Skyla. Unfortunately unable to find Mickle though. Just down to another 2v2. It starts to die down a little bit. This time, M4's in hand. Mickle tries to throw one. And Nate there, fortunately, goes a bit too far to find Achilles. It's just going to be spams from both Mickle and Achilles there. But both members of Acer find the pick there, and they take the lead.
Back in control. And you got to wonder at some point if maybe that's the only 2 points, say, Basils will be allowed this afternoon. I don't feel that way with how good Vanguard contested against the Acer squad. I feel like any team in this group stage has a chance to do what Vanguard did, but maybe that's me underestimating the eighth seed. Maybe Vanguard are really stepping up to the postseason task, and I am kind of curious how they're duking it out against Vortex right now. So when we're done with this map, we'll definitely be sure to pop over there and see how things are unfurling as we do get in to this B-side push. Several nades connecting.
B-side control back into the hands of 8. Basil, smoke's gonna be tossed. Deny the vision of Acer, but Julian's on the flank, and now the pinch is coming on in. The rival's able to find Trey before going down. And Julian finds another pick just down to Skyla. Finds one, has to push on through, and that is the clutch there to tie the map. And just down to 3-3, and Skyla clutching it for 8 Basils right there.
And that is... Well, sometimes it's... I mean, wow, it's hard to clutch against this Acer squad, but to see it happen there is huge. A nice double kill, locked in over sight, and the half here continuing to exchange a great bit of back and forth and keep us even 3-3 as we dive right up through the center. Flashes coming out, Afterthought challenging Clev on the close quarter, and Clev picking up a double, making a triple no.
Right there, and you blink and you miss it, just down to Mad Dog into a 1v3. Just wondering, where did my team just go? It was right there. I was just taking down Clev, and then my team's just gone. Julian just falls down before finding the stairs. Flick up there from Trey. Push on through. They know where Mad Dog is, but Mad Dog's just on a slitter of HP. Yeah. You could barely see that green pixel. Indicating how much Dog is. Just has to play this perfectly with 1:10 left on the clock. Scanner, that's towards the long side. What do you do? Do you try and play for the pinch? You maybe try to play a little bit crazy, maybe anticipate something that Acer won't expect, but Mad Dog's just maybe gonna push on through towards this main side. in. Ray, Nate thrown. Barely spots the limb, but this could be timing. And Trey finds one, but Achilles still tucked in. It's just down to 40 seconds. But Achilles just knowing how to play this well. And just from behind, as Acer take it back.
That would have been an insane comeback from Mad Dog if they had managed to squeak that out and pull off a 3-player pickup with a slice of HP. That would have been the clutch of clutches this afternoon. But Acer come out on top here, back in the lead, continuing to exchange back and forth. And have we even seen an A-side push from 8 Basils yet? Do they even know that there's another side of the map?
I don't think they know, but why care about it? Meanwhile, you just take out 8 Basils on B site. Skylar's just able to find one onto Bex, but down to a 2v4, and Clev is just taking them down. And Skylar pushed onto, does find Clev, making this down to a 1v3. But I'm pretty sure Skylar's on 25% right now. Achilles behind the box is there, takes out Skylar, and I think for the first time we have a 2-round lead.
Yeah, I think you might be right, as they do go up 5-3 in map 1. And if you are just stopping by, this is the first map of a 2-map series between these two teams. This is the second round of a 3-round round-robin group stage, where we are going to decide 2 teams that'll qualify in to play next weekend, where those 4 teams next weekend will get culled down to 2 teams getting flown out to play their finals live at VRML Con July 20th and 21st on stage in front of an audience. You can buy your tickets to the event right now by going to vrmlcon.com, and you can potentially watch one of these teams live on stage playing for their chance at $5K in cash and that opportunity to be crowned first place in VRML Season 1. It's a lot on the line at the end of the day, and it's got to be in the back of their heads there, Tosh.
And the push there, you do have to side swap because we are on round 9. Push there coming in from Acer. They're playing this really slow thing on A. But now the smoke and Utah are going to be tossed. Mickle's going to be swinging on through. And it's an absolute whiff as Trey is able to find Mickle. And now push on through. Beck's able to find Afterthought. But on the other side, it's this push as well. Julian pushing on through towards this B site. But there's a lot more action towards this site. Afterthought and Trey in a bit of a situation, but the plan is going to be heading towards B, and now Skylar's going to be heading towards this B side, not expecting one, runs into Julian, but unfortunately unable to find as Clev with a knife kill, and that is the first of the day, and that is some disrespect added.
I mean, in the pistol round, I don't think it's necessarily something unheard of. I mean, you're getting into those close corner peaks, you're getting into those close quarter swings on the retake, and that's where they found that pick, was in that little zigzag L there at the backside of B. And, you know, if there's ever an opportunity, it's in that pistol round. I don't think you're going to get a knife out when you have a rifle in your hand and try and close quarters things there, as we do see Achilles here with a rifle out trying to swing out and pick off the early aggression coming in there from Arrival. Double nades, neither going through onto their opponent, but Achilles will pop out for the kill. Arrival goes down, and Acer looking to pile on to this lead here. They're looking to go 7-3 map 1.
A lot more passive, but look at the main map. Trey is trying to find this flank. Maybe just find a couple of picks, but now the side of A Basils, they are playing a lot more concealed. They're going to play a lot more compressed, because they still don't have a lot of information. But Mickle there trying to at least find something, trying to find this early exchange with Trey. Now to rotate from Acer, they're going to try and focus this towards the A site. And I'm not sure if 8 Basils realizes this, but the scanner is still favoring towards B. But look at this engagement coming in from Achilles and Mad Dog, but Mad Dog wins the fight. And now 50 seconds left. Acer, they have to find this round, but Mickle's able to take down Clev. Down to a 4v3, and now the scanner has to find a way through. There's so much time left. There's a little that Acer could do with the time remaining. They're gonna have to find at least a couple of picks to clear out a couple of sites. Mickle able to take down Beck, just down to Julian and Trey in a 4v2. Util there, smoke thrown as well, but Mickle on the other side. Julian is able to take down Afterthought, but Mickle is the last line of defense. 15 seconds left. A swing on through. Finds the trade. Just down the tray into a 1v2. 10 seconds left. Has to retrieve the scanner. And do they get it in time? They do indeed, but Mad Dog is still going to swing on through. And that is the 4th round for 8 Basils. And is this where the side of 8 Basils start to get their momentum?
Yeah, it could be. They finally shut down Acer, who are running away with it, quite frankly. A 7-3 lead really could have spelled a bit of doom and gloom for the likes of 8 Basils. But on their defensive set, they finally regained a touch of control. They've got themselves around, and now maybe they can start to swing things a little bit. Maybe they can start to force Acer into some other strategies outside of that B side. And, I mean, Acer's been pretty good, I feel like, in comparison to 8 Basils. That's splitting up. And if anything, I feel like they do favor the A site more than B when they do push out here, as we are going to see an A site setup coming in from this Acer offense.
A lot more passes coming from A. So they are setting up towards A. They are gonna. I think they're gonna try a potential rollout. But meanwhile, you have Beck, who's trying to make a bit of noise. Maybe try at least lower the defenses of 8 Basils a little bit, so they don't have enough manpower to defend A. And now they're gonna be throwing the nades. And now the call from both sides are gonna be going in. They're gonna commit to this. Julian's able to find Afterthought. Mikkel tried to throw a couple of nades, maybe deny a couple of moments there. Arrival able to find a grenade. Able to find one with a nade, but still, Beck on the other side, able to find 2 that are caught trying to rotate, and it's just down to Mikkel into a 1v3. And the push through, the cough coming in from Clef makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't even matter because on the Rayab spawn, Beck and Achilles are there.
I mean, Beck absolutely clutching up the swing through B site, taking out the one defender that was in their way, and then really just finding a clean line into what was otherwise a completely unguarded defensive backline. A double kill that leads to a triple, and ultimately Beck maybe the MVP of that round at the very least, as they go 11-9. The kill leader actually 14-8 over at Julian, but well, we'll see if that continues with Mad Dog kicking things off with an early pick onto Julian.
Mad Dog, they're able to find a good amount, and Mad Dog able to just freely defend B on their own. And now Beck and Trey just gotta commit to the A site, which the side of A Basils just gave up for free, but they still have 5 players remaining for the side of A Basils. Nade's gonna be thrown, Host Plan is active, and now Mikkel just swings on through, but immediately falls. Nade's gonna be thrown, try to clear out the site. Knife is thrown from Trey, but Mad Dog, and I think that could have been the ace right there. Actually, no, never mind. Mikkel went down as well, but Mad Dog just doing the absolute most for 8 Basils right there.
I mean, they are fighting this afternoon, and Acer are really having a hard time through this round robin. They are not getting easy wins. They're winning, but they are not easily given up into their hands. Map 1, 8 Basils, and Acer in this 2-map series is delivering it every step of the way, quite frankly, Heritage. And we're getting ready to get back into it. Round 13 between these two teams. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate you stopping by. Hit the thumbs up button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel. We want to see you back for next weekend, where we're going to decide which one of these 4 teams, the top 4, is going to advance on to VRML Con, and a trade unfolds over the top of the B site as we do get in again to round 13.
B fully wide open for the side of Acer. And now Skyla has to push on through. The cost there, but Julian's able to take them down. Just down there, a trade coming in, but Julian just swings on through. And now it's a map point for Acer.
I mean, look at Julian's KD, Heritage. 17
that 17-9. That is a dominant showing. I mean, you have Mad Dog, who's trying their absolute hardest, who's only behind by 1.
True.
But there needs to be some better reinforcement.
Yeah, I mean, we can only do so much. We only with only so much HP. You know, it's hard to get those aces. Although we've seen a couple almost come through here today, with one getting locked in the pistol round of all rounds. We do get into it. A nade nearly detonating there onto the head of Trey, but not quite. The push coming up through the center, and Julian continuing to try to stack on more kills to their already impressive KD. Won't get picked off in that trade by Trey and Skyla, and will be able to barrel through here over to A site to reinforce their team.
After that, all alone onto his A site. Julian pushes through the smoke. Did they just not hear the cough? And they just got A, and I'm not sure how that happened. And we could potentially seeing the map close, and it's just down to Mad Dog into a 1v4. The player that has been carrying 8 Basil so much on this map has to do it again to keep them alive. And it's a knife throw, unsuccessful for Clev, but the pinch from Achilles ends it there. Miru secured for the side of Acer onto this series. Now, 8 Basils, they need to find something. They definitely, because the best they could do is tie this.
Yeah, it's 9-5 opener, and yeah, it's a 3-0 Acer squad in this round robin. If they go 4-0, I do think it may actually guarantee advancement on to next weekend. If a team wins 4 wins, I think mathematically it's impossible to surpass them on wins based off of how many rounds can be won and who is winning them. So I'm very interested to see if we do get 3-1 on both sides, if 8 Basils can muster up a map victory on our second map of the afternoon. I'm not sure where we are going to be headed for that map 2. Our first one opening up there on Miru. And I mean, what are your thoughts based on match history? Where do you see this headed? I guess while we do wait for this, we could pop over to Vortex versus Ruby Gaming and see how that is going right now.
Well, let's just hope that none of them are on 8 and we could go at least like 2 rounds in before it's over.
Let's see.
I'm hoping that it's not over. I'm just gonna tune in. So I think we should be fine. They just started map 2, I believe.
Okay. I mean, we could split our time here and watch the back half of this series, or go over to Acer. I mean, where do you think we should stick around? I mean, 8 Basils certainly competing hard, but I am curious to see how Vortex and Vanguard Gaming Ruby are duking it out. It does look like it did come down to a very close battle back and forth there, where Vanguard Gaming Ruby are in the lead. Right? They're down 1 in this opening here. No, they're in the lead because Vortex are down 1 right now. What do you want to do, Heritage? I'll leave it up to you. I mean, we could ask chat too, but they're not going to be quick enough on the response. I mean, I say we stick here. We'll bounce back after this over to the other series. So let's set ourselves up for the action and dive into, again, Vanguard Gaming Ruby versus Vortex.
A bit of a slower push from the side of Vanguard. They're going to be pushing on through. They have control of this push coming in. And I think Vortex are playing a lot more safer now. They have 3 stacked on A. And meanwhile only have 1 defender, which I believe is Ball. With the APC in hand, mind you, an Embryo goes down. Dang, able to find Facuso. Nate thrown, and I think Seifeld has this cross. They're gonna push on through, but Ball goes down. AR against SMG. AR is winning that a good amount of time. Busy pushes on through and makes a successful trade just down to Samachi and Seifeld into a 1v1.
This is probably how it's been going most of the day between these two teams. If it's any indicator with how long Acer's matchup went, they certainly were close as well throughout their series. And now we're into this 1v1. We had 1 player alive on the likes of Vanguard Gaming Ruby for their last win. When is this scanner going down? Where is the scanner? Even they have to work through in this tunnel. They're suspecting someone's defending it, but all the utility going on to get this scanner, when in reality, Samachi's been at a site waiting for it to go down.
And it's just going to be a play on audio. Seifeld going to try and scan it. It's being thrown, but it doesn't even matter. Once you have the scanner in your hands, you are basically nothing.
In the second map between these two teams, not sure how map 1 went, but the second map between these two teams opens up with a nice bit of back and forth. Miru, again, lending itself that way. I feel like Heritage tends to be that back and forth map more than anything. And again, a shout out to the developer of it. Someone we actually just saw play earlier in this group stage.
Bit more slower now. I think the side of Vanguard, they're doing a 2-1-2 split, and Sumachi off the rip finds Dank with a frag grenade. Now Embryo push on through, trying to play a little bit more slower. There's no auto queue yet. The side of Vortex don't have information, but Embryo off the rip immediately gets caught up by Ball with the SMG. And now look at this. You have Seifeld as well. Haunted as well as Quick trying to push on through, but they've been spotted. They gotta commit to this right now. Quick is trying to throw some utility, find one, but Sumachi is able to take down Haunted. Down to a 3v2. Seifeld has to make this quick. They gotta find the pinch as Seifeld finds one, but it's just gonna be a 1v1 onto the site because there is just 1v1s on both sides as both of them have been called out. Fizzy down there, Quick and Fizzy going to an early engagement. Just who swings first, who gets antsy, and who makes the wrong audio cue. Just 45 seconds left. Fizzy looking away, gets caught off guard, and it's just down to Ball into a 1v2. I think your Ball maybe just find a rifle in hand. Seifeld gets spotted, and it just 8 shots from each stage. Both are on critical HP, and just only 35 seconds left on the scanner.
Long way to go to get over here, push out, and disrupt the scan, and they won't be able to do it in time. Quick shutting things down, and a 2-1 lead here for Vanguard Gaming Ruby. They've been battling against the #1 seed at the start of today. It's, if anything, again, motivation for them to be contesting Vortex here this afternoon. And I'm not surprised to see them able to take a lead against Vortex here in the second map.
And I think this is a bit of an interesting tactic from Vanguard. I think someone on the side of him having a technical issue, because, you know, there's somehow 2 in spawn, which is usually you don't want, because usually you'll have 1 in spawn just to hold down mid. So I'm pretty sure they are kind of having to play 5v4. But, well, focusing on that, side of Vanguard are making their push towards mid, so they're probably gonna split off and maybe play on their single pick that they get. Toss. They're just a little bit more anti. A minute left on the clock. Time on the side of Vortex right now. This could just be on who finds who first towards this mid side. 45 seconds left. Play on. This crouch walking, and this could favor. But Chewy on the other side, it's towards the tunnels. Playing a little bit under, maybe a bit too anti for their favor. You have little players, but now Vanguard are making their way towards the A site. You have Fat Kuko that could potentially find a couple of picks there, and Haunted has been caught, and now the action is going to be playing on through. Quick and Seifeld have made their way towards the A site. DT is going to be towards the side, but you have Chewy who's hiding in the tunnel side, able to find two, just down to a 2v2. Down to Chewy and Sumachi. And now 5 seconds left. There is just no time left for Ruby to do. That is just unfortunate. This is why you don't try to crouch walk your entire way to bomb sites.
Trying to change the pace.
And it's just even.
Trying to change the pace, and to your point there, not effectively managing their time. Maybe that's because they had that early technical issue. Who knows? But either way, a bit of an overly slow rotation from Vanguard that does net Vortex a round by time. I don't think we've seen a round locked in this postseason yet by time, and maybe that's a sentiment towards just how quick and aggressive these teams are playing this afternoon. And again, another quick nade here on B to potentially give away a bit of info, but maybe also draw out the likes of this not over-aggressive, but this definitely aggressive Vortex defense. Sumachi positioned pretty far forward up in the center, and they'll find Dank, not even looking in their direction.
Just so tunnel vision on towards Nest. They have to exchange this fight towards the short side. And now you have Seifeld, but Fizzy on the other side finds two. And now it's heavily favored towards Vortex again. And just another 2 kills there. A couple of trades go on through, and now Vortex have the lead.
Running away with it, quite frankly. In the second map this afternoon between these two teams, 3-2 advantage. And, you know, after this, you only got 2 more maps left in this round robin. And your chances of qualifying start to get lower and lower. I gotta wonder what the score lines are right now. Both these teams 0-2. I wonder if Vortex won the first map, because if they did, then they could have a chance of pushing themselves up 2-2, which could be where the likes of our second place team is headed, with 8 Basils losing their first map to Acer. If they lose the second, they will be 2-2. Acer will guarantee advancement on, and it'll come down to 8 Basils and whoever has 2 wins out of this series. If that's even possible yet, we'll see, as Vortex are up 3-2 in the second map here in this 2-map series, and A site being pushed heavily by the likes of Vanguard to some success, but also a nice shutdown there from Ball.
Nate's being thrown as well. Site clear is in favor of Vanguard, but Quick's able to find Fizzy. I'm not sure if they spotted one towards the Ray side as well. They're able to get this plan. Now, I don't think they realized that Google was there, as Quick immediately goes down. It's just down to another 2v2. Now Sumachi is slow walking their way through. They could probably find Cyphil. This is just a matter playing against time. As now Haunted pushes on through, able to take a couple of chip damage onto Cyphil, but Cyphil doesn't realize that Sumachi sources the stairs side, as it's just down to another 1v1, and it's just a matter of time. Knife being thrown, maybe just find a really lucky one. The pre-fires through between the forklift. And just 10 seconds left to dance. Haunted finds the kill there, and it's all tied up right again.
A great play from Vanguard Gaming Ruby with the scanner down. They locked themselves in a tie 3-3 map 2 here against Vortex, and the underdogs continue to perform this afternoon. They continue to stand up to expectations, and I mean, over-deliver on expectations, quite frankly. It's not often you see the Challenger Cup victor going this hard in the round robin.
It is very surprising, you know. A lot of I think a good amount of people wouldn't be expecting Ruby to kind of put up this kind of performance, but on this side there, you see they're doing pretty dang well. But Ballfinger is able to find Dang. They're able to find 2 and a third before going down. And just down to a 4v2. Now a swing on through, just down to Quick and Seifeld. Seifeld stung towards the bunker. And then they're unable to find a single point of chip damage. But got lasers coming in. Could be favoring Vortex, but they need to play a lot more slower. Quick is trying to slow walk their way towards the A site. But the question is if Seifeld can find Chewy, this is a good amount of site that's controlled, but there is multiple crossfires coming in from both, and Fizzy from behind is able to take down Seifeld, just down to Quick into a 1v4, and they're just stuck inside the tunnel.
At least they have scanner, so they have some options, but the time is definitely their enemy. With 40 seconds left, defenders on top of them. Any audio cues give away their position, and they don't have much time to sprint and rotate over to B, where they aren't actively being defended against. So right into the hornet's nest as we get into the 25-second mark.
20-second left on the clock, and Vakuko just holding it down with the M4. Just leaving Quick, left to just dust inside of tunnel. And it's just, what do you do if you're Vanguard here?
Yeah, I think you gotta try.
I think maybe like a bit more of a aggressive play is what I kind of hoped.
Yep.
Because I think Vortex, they have been showing signs of, you know, playing a little bit slow. They take a like good amount of time before they really try and rotate. I mean, meanwhile, that's what they could be trying to attempt. You have Embryo and Hunt try to push on through, but Fizzy's able to find Dang towards the mid side. Embryo is able to find the trade, but that could have been a member left alive for the side of Vanguard, as it's just down to another 4v2 again.
Oh, that nade almost catches the likes of Haunted as they drop off and avoid it, and Yeah, rotation A site in order, but like look at this. Where is Samachi? Look at how deep they are behind enemy lines here. Watching for a back site rotation that may actually come through here from Haunted if they do want to drop all the way back, but I don't think there's a need to go all the way back. So for now, at least, Seifield will find Chewy, and Samachi still lurks behind the likes of this offense.
A minute left to play. Seifeld does spot one. Fakuko has made their way, but Fizzy immediately finds Haunted. Just down to Seifeld into a 1v3 scanner towards the middle. And I'm pretty sure that is going to be called out by Fizzy. Oh, this is just timing. Seifeld, they're mid. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the gunshots were definitely heard, knowing they're behind the box. 30 seconds left, a swing does find Fizzy, making it down to a 1v2. But without the cost of losing a good amount of HP. But they don't expect Sumachi, who is right behind enemy lines with the Grot B. And Vortex are up by 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot to swap sides. When we reset and went into round 9. As, yeah, Vortex does lead 5-3 here this afternoon. Vanguard having a tough go about it, with Acer starting things off. The 2-0 map win, and now Vortex leading here, at least on one of these maps, could potentially push.
Sumachi's on the .50. It's very rare that you see Deagles in play. As well as the Uzi in hand, Fizzy's able to find Dank. Now the push on through. Chewy is just walking right on in, just holding the stick. Quick's able to stop the push though. Fakuko doesn't realize that Quick's behind. And Fizzy as well as well, they don't realize it. But Quick's out of shots. And it's just down to another 3v3. A scan's gonna come in from Fizzy. And they toss and it stops it. Just down to Sumachi into a 1v3. What on earth just happened? And it was just a little tiny Deagle in hand with the holographic. What do you try and attempt?
You got to pick off the first defender in this tight corner.
Oh, no, I don't think that's...
Yeah. Not checking behind them there. Embryo finds that kill, and Vanguard take the defensive pistol opener here. That's one good way to start to chip away at your opponent's lead. That's 2 points. Not a lot when you do swap sides, quite frankly, and Vortex really do need to kind of ramp up their overall pace here and lock in a bit of a rhythm for their team, because they have the ability to set that pace on the attack. I feel like Vanguard really were slowing Vortex down. Vortex, I think, a bit of a faster team when it comes down time for them to push in, as we are seeing a lot of utility over at B.
Smokes there, isolates the site a good amount, but Dank's able to find Sumachi with that gap remaining. Haunted's able to find Fizz with a nade. Just down to another 4v2. On the other side, there has been a trade. Just down to Chewy and Fakuko. Left remaining to stop this and still keep their 2-round lead. And Haunted gets a bit of an exchange with, I believe it was Haunted, yeah. Just down to another 4v2. Minute 10 left on the clock. EMP is dropped though, and Fakuko tries to swing and does find one successfully, but on the other side, Haunted's able to find Chewy, so it's just down to another 1v3.
Yeah, gonna be tough. Vanguard looking to tie this up, and Acer definitely capable of clutching, but look at that. The nades, the shots through the boxes, and ultimately some big kills getting locked in. 5-5 in map 2 here between Vanguard and Vortex, and I'm glad we jumped over here, Heritage. We were watching Hate Basils and Acer, which quite frankly could also be as engaging. But, I mean, come on, this is an incredible performance from the 8th seed as they do battle up against, I believe, number 4 from Vortex.
Yeah, the 4th seed, as well as the first ever tournament win for VAIL. So, to put up a performance like that it's a kind of, you know, pretty good, especially coming in as that wild card for this bracket, and still to put up numbers against a couple of these teams. It's something to be proud of, because you definitely had that potential to do a lot of damage and potentially shake a couple of things up.
do you see the question of the scores in the top right? Correct. I don't know what the first map score was, so frankly, probably not. I don't know what map 1 was. It's a leftover from the Acer series, but map 2 is indeed 5-5. We'll find out what the score line is once this series finishes and they report it, and we'll be sure to report that to you, fine folk at home. As we get back to it, 5-5. Vanguard looking for more, looking for a lead. Can they find it here on their defensive half?
A 3v3, smokes toss. Now Vanguard, they just got to keep defending this. And now to push through Embryo. Quick as well as Dank. They are the remaining defenders for this round. 35 seconds left on the clock. They did leave B open, but this could be the attempt. Fizzy just walked through. Fizzy just went on through. Fat Crew is able to take down Dank, but this is just a post plant. And the advantage is now in Vortex's hands. And now that's going to be a plant. Quick tries to throw a nade. It's unsuccessful to find Fizzy, as Fizzy finds the kill there. Just left down to Embryo into a 1v3. And Fat Kuko playing a lot more aggressive. And now the pinch from both sides closes the round. And now Vortex getting the lead, heading from the previous tie.
3 points away from taking a map win here against Vanguard Gaming Ruby as they go up 6-5, and certainly a challenging series for Vortex to say the least, but they are definitely stepping up to the task of trying to knock out the Challenger Cup victor. I don't know that I've ever seen, maybe once in the entirety of VRML have I seen a Challenger Cup team make it to the Final Four, but it's an incredible rarity. And so if Vanguard Gaming Ruby can pull it off, it would certainly be an amazing achievement for their team in Season 1, but Vortex are definitely making it tough for them and battling every inch. And now changing the pace up a little bit, slowing things down.
A lot more slower for the side of Vortex. They're stacking a lot more towards this middle side. And I think this is a very questionable move. Maybe they're just playing a little bit, and I'm not sure what happened. I think someone's headset just crashed. But the smoke's gonna be tossed. Quick is just gonna tuck in back inside. Smoke's tossed, and Chewy there, able to find one for a trade. Ball is just stuck there inside, tucked in, down to a 3v4, which could have been a 4v4, but unfortunately Seifeld has got hit with a crash. But it's gonna be another trade, down to a 2v3, and now I think Dank has to push through and maybe find the wrap. Push there, Fakuko is able to find Dank, down to Haunted into a 1v3. And just 30 seconds left on the clock. Maybe just playing on time. Just look at the mini-map, it won't even matter. Fakuko will find the kill, and the plant will just be planted on the other side.
We're into it. A nice lead for Vortex, and only a few points separating them from victory. Just 2 away from locking in this second map, and I gotta wonder if they took the first map as well. And as if they did, then they are going 2-2. And it would put Vanguard Gaming Ruby essentially out of contention to move on through this postseason by going 0-4 on their opening rounds. So definitely not what Vanguard are hoping for. And if anything, you know, fighting back and having close wins is great, but it's still, or having close losses is great, but they're still losses at the end of the day.
A lot more slower Seifeld, and I'm not sure how Seifeld won that engagement. Down to a 5v4. The pace from Vortex a lot more passive, because they've realized that it has worked. So they're gonna try the same thing again. Dank, but Fizzy just looks away at the wrong time. Sure if they realize that Sumachi's tucked in the stairs. They do, and it's gonna be a trade that's good. And just down to Tui and Fakuko into a 3v2, as it's gonna be a beautiful headshot. But Seifeld from their spawn taking down Chewy, just down to Fakuko into a 1v3. 45 seconds left on the clock. Scanner is heavily favored towards the side of middle. I'm pretty sure that Vanguard realizes it.
Yeah, it's so a nice swing there, and at least one of those flankers gone, but time is ticking. Where's the scanner? They've got to scoop it up, which they do, and then got to push into sight here with limited utility. I don't think they've got a smoke to deny vision. They've got a nade that's not going to catch anyone around the corners, and, well, they may be able to get scanner down if they go straight for it. Instead, they go for the picks first, and at least it's one of two they need. Oh, and it's close. With 5 seconds left, they'll get the scanner down.
A 1v1. Yeah, Fagugo trying to tuck in behind the forklift. And it's just going to be a game of timing, a game of just game sense right there. Who's going to swing first? And just, does Fagugo get over aggressive? Will Quick find the timing? Will Quick find this angle? And I'm not sure who gets it. It's just going to be a matter of time. And Quick looks away. That gives Fagugo the round. And that is map point for the side of Vortex. And the side of Vanguard, they need 4 in a row to steal it from Vortex.
Yeah, it is momentum clearly into the Vortex squad's hands here this afternoon. Impressive to see them here performing like this. I know I wonder how much is really hidden. Samachi, definitely a well-known VR streamer in the ecosystem. They do YouTube content, Twitch content, and you know how much of their practices are off the record. How much detail is available for Vanguard to review, and if they did do their homework, it's even more impressive for Vortex to be able to fight like this against, again, a team that competed against Acer. Samachi will get picked off through the center, getting a little bit aggressive there, and maybe a chance for Vanguard to start to swing things their way on the defensive half.
As long as Vanguard doesn't get too aggressive, they don't get antsy, as long as they don't make really easy mistakes, they have that potential to force them back into an 8-8 situation. But if you look on the side, this rollout coming in from Vortex, they are so focused on B, and I'm pretty sure Haunted just got spotted by Fizzy.
Go finds a double kill over the top. 2 go down quick for Vanguard Gaming, and the worry, the concern of losing this map swings into their head as Dank swings the corner for a kill on the Fat Kuko.
Yeah, and the fake has worked. Fat Kuko finding 2, forcing Vanguard to rotate, but Ballfinger hiding in behind the bunker, and it's just down to Dank into a 1v3 to keep them alive. Nade trying to be thrown. You have to clear out a couple angles. Let's find one, but putting the gun down, lets Chewy get the kill, and Vortex has secured Miru. And that is, I'm pretty sure, map 2 right there.
Yep, a solid job from Vortex, battling back Vanguard, having almost as much difficulty as Acer was against this 8th place team that qualified through to the Challenger Cup. An impressive performance, and I gotta wonder what that first map really was from Vanguard Gaming, because that score line is old, so I don't know if it was 9-5 from them in map 1. We'll find out what the reported score is here in seconds, as I do see Acer actually finishing their game and winning against 8 Basils, so spoilers alert, 9-5 map 1, we already knew that, but 9-6 in map 2 as they've come out on top. So that completes round 2 overall. That means that we do have the Acer 8 Basils game done, and I'm waiting for the scores to get reported from Vortex. They've won both, 9-3 map 1, 9-5 map 2. So we are going to see a undefeated Acer team go 4-0 into round 3. It does mean that Vortex are 2-2, and that 8 Basils are 2-2. And so, I think for round 3, we have Vortex versus Acer and 8 Basils versus Vanguard Gaming Ruby. So, Vortex need to win, 8 Basils need to win. Those two teams head-to-head right now for second place. First is already locked in. Vanguard Gaming Ruby are already knocked out. And so, the question is how competitive are Acer and Vanguard going to be at both ends of the spectrum? Acer already qualifying through and Vanguard already being knocked out. We'll find out just how competitive they are as we do get into round 3 in about 10 minutes time. We're going to go to a brief break. A quick shout out to our sponsors, Axe Labs, for supporting us with that $10K in cash into the prize pool, as well as flying out the top 2 North American finalists to play live on stage at VRML Con. A tremendous opportunity only possible by Axe Labs. HyperX contributing in with hardware. 2,000 in giveaway and hardware giveaways at the convention, on top of contributing into the first and second place prize pool for our North American champions. And last but not least, ProTube VR coming in with their amazing stock options. We got the discount code I love VRML at checkout if you want to pick up one yourself, and they've got the exclusive VRML Con stock coming. We'll be showing that off soon enough. We're gonna go to a break though. My name is Nightfire 2. He's co-caster Heritage. We still got round 3 of the North American Group B to unfold, and we'll find out who our 2 teams are that'll be advancing through into the semifinals next weekend, where we determine the 2 teams that get to play out their grand finals live on stage. It's a lot to look forward to. You're not going to want to miss it out. 2 more maps to go. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome to the VAIL VR Master League. My name is Chumbe, and with me is one of the top teams of the NA region. It's 8 Basils, a rival, Blue and Akari here. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Doing great. I just hung out today.
I'm doing awesome myself.
No, guys, I like, you know, watching 8 Basils kind of start up out of nowhere. Obviously, you guys are still in the Rec family. There was so much talk about, oh my God, what is this, right? Like, what's Rec doing? Like a sister team. It kind of piqued some interest, I think, in the league. How'd you guys feel about your entrance as a secondary roster or an alternate roster in the Rec family?
It felt awesome. A lot of our members on 8 was actually tried out for Rec at like the very beginning, and we all just got like rejected. So then we came to Blue 4, our Majesty, our glorious king. And he accepted us with arms wide open, and we've just built the team up from the ground up since then.
I love that.
I couldn't be more happier with this team and how it formed.
Yeah, no, and you know, I think a lot of people are envious of the success, your guys' success. You know, big props to that. So just for the people that are unaware, let's clarify. What's the meaning and what's the explanation behind the name 8 Basils? Because there are 8 players? What's that about?
I believe the name came from Basil Moss, which is actually the captain of Rect. Before he was on Rect, to my knowledge, he had his own team called the 8 Basils. They would always have like the Moz at the end of their name, so Basil Moz and whomever else on that roster, and it kind of just got carried over to here. And I will say, this team actually has been more on the shadows, I guess, but it has been long. We're not necessarily a new team, just a new roster.
Right, no, yeah. Absolutely. Definitely. All right, well, hey, I mean, this is an interview about the postseason, right? How do you guys feel 12 weeks down, 12 weeks up in Season 1 of VAIL VR Master League? Your guys are kind of locked in for the closed qualifiers. How y'all feel about being able to skip the whole process of competing in single elimination and the Challenger Cup? You guys are in the closed qualifiers. How does that feel?
Feels honestly really good. We're stoked to be here. Shout out to all the other teams that made it as well, and we can't wait to go out there and try our best.
Blue, I mean, you're the leader here, and there must be some kind of sense of pride, right? Seeing your best friends in the league, your players, and your, I guess your comrades in arms. Like, you must feel some kind of pride and happiness, right?
Yeah, I feel unbelievable amount of pride and happiness. You know, in the beginning, not many people know this, but we lost like every single scrim. It was looking bleak for a while, and then the first Crest League kind of rolled around, and things have been on the up since.
Yeah. The Wrecked family, you know, I don't want to glaze, but you guys are really just incredible players and an incredible team culture. So you said that after the Crest League, things started to look on the up. So did you guys go into VAIL VRML Season 1 thinking, expecting to be, obviously with hard work, but expecting to be in the top 7? What was the mindset going into VRML?
Our mindset was just like, after our first Crest League, whenever we placed third, our mindset was just like, yo, like we really got it. You know what I mean? Like we really did this, and nobody expected it. Nobody, like, you could even look in the Crest League server, and like go all the way back in the messages. Everyone's like, bro, Bezos is still going, like they're still playing, and it's like reading those messages, it's like, dude, that's really put like a fire in like my heart, and I could hopefully speak for the rest of my team, and it lit a fire in them too, to just be the best that we possibly could, and that's what we've proved this season. Yeah.
Is there any like tactic or kind of strategy, like not like actual strats in game, but as a team and under leadership, Blue, did you have to take on new ideas and adapt your leadership to VRML and the way that the league is set up? Like, was there any difference compared to other live events and tournaments before VRML?
Honestly, it was kind of super similar. I guess before VRML came in the scene, it was mostly just Crest League and IVRL. There wasn't really any, I guess, adapting we had to do. I would say VRML is generally more professional, at least, you know, from what I could tell. But besides that, really nothing we had to change.
Gotcha. No, good to hear. Good to hear. Top 4, Master Tier, Arrival. I wanna put the spotlight on you. Did you feel any particular difficulty as an individual player? Maybe not a, I don't know what your role is, maybe IGL, maybe support, maybe, you know, utility, but did you as an individual player with your responsibilities in the team per game, did you feel any difficulty this season against the teams that are participating in VRML?
I mean, I had no difficulty with like anything in the season. I had difficulty like changing as a player and becoming more of a team member, as I am one of the new players to a Basils, and that was an obstacle that I'm still working on and, you know, getting better with every single day. And I think we're all as players getting better, and the game's getting more advanced when we play every single day. So that's pretty much about it. But us making the one of the top teams feels really, really good, and I felt like the whole time when I was on the team we were gonna make it, because these guys right here are really, really good players. So
I'm going to open up that question to Blue and Nikari. Actually, what was your guys' most difficult experience or experiences in Season 1 of VRML?
I think the biggest one for me is having faulty equipment. Always trying to, you know, work on my controllers. I have really bad drift. Sometimes I just can't move. So for me, it was just always, you know, just trying to play the game how it was meant to be played. It's kind of the biggest struggle I've been working on.
Mine would be being on standalone quest. If I get bombarded with util, it just, like, my performance just tanks a whole lot. And there's been a lot of times where I would just underperform significantly because of it. But at the end of the day, like, there's no excuse. I have a gun, I could shoot them, you know. But outside of that, it's really nothing.
I really like that mentality. Yeah, I like that. No, yeah, no excuse. Okay, so now going into this postseason, we talked about some possible kind of leadership changes that you guys actually didn't really experience going into VRML, but now you're in the thick of it, right? Like, you've made it into the top 7. What are some plans, without spoiling any trade secrets for your team? Maybe Blue, if you want to start us off, what are some plans that you've got Any mindset, any morale maybe for the postseason here?
I think our plan is just kind of just keeping as it was, just keep grinding, keep practicing, maybe throw a few more practices in there. It is kind of difficult with our availability, but we kind of managed to do what we can do. Personally, I like to play the game whenever I can, early mornings, early nights before I go to bed. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Just continue to grind and hope for the best.
Arrival, any kind of plans that you've got to take on this postseason?
Yes. Aim train, stay motivated, stay focused, get good sleep every single night, and stay focused. That's it. Be a vital player.
Akari?
Taking on the postseason, I'm actually getting a new job soon, and the hours are pretty bad. I'm gonna be working at 3 to 11, so I'm gonna have to play like early mornings instead of late at night, which is like a complete switch up of what I'm really used to. But anything for the team, and anything to support my team.
Does that mean wreck to you? I'm kidding. I don't. No, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's really inspiring and really, I don't know, it's very satisfying also to hear that you guys are so motivated and so driven. Would expect nothing less from a team like 8 Basils. Last question, guys. Are there any teams you guys are worried about heading into the finals here? I mean,
honestly, personally, I think our biggest, rival we haven't really beat consistently yet is probably Acer. Every other team we can, if we work together and not get tilted, keep our heads in the game, you'll beat generally every other team, but Acer's just can't beat them consistently.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Arrival, how about you?
I agree with them as well. Acer's a very, very good team, and yeah, throughout the season, I think they've showed it with their record.
I feel like most teams will also have the same answer as us. So,
I mean, Rect was able to do it on cast, right? So like all eyes on them, and they were able to pull off that win against Acer. Do you guys think?
Shout out the Rect.
Right. Do you guys think you could do it? Like, you guys have gone up against Acer, and it was 27-18. What are how confident are you guys that for the postseason that'll happen, or it'll happen, but the other way around?
Well, let me say this. I think generally, if we make it to LAN, I think we definitely have a step up because we're already all Quest players pretty much, besides me and a few other players. So we'll definitely have that advantage of being able to just pick up and play. But if it's like online, we might obviously struggle. But I think we can do it if we just stay locked in, and we have done in Crest League before.
You guys have been locked in for so many weeks. I hope for the next few you guys will lock in again. That was 8 Basils. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, man.
Of course.
There's Taquito again, flying out, rifle in hand, catches 1, 2, 3.
Oh no! Mitchell is right on top of it. And there's a double kill that comes in from Cozy. Hit to the EMP inside. Who's trying to shoot him? Oh my god! No! It's a fast 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to the VAIL VRML Season 1 North American Group B. We're here in the final round of this group stage, the final two-map series unfurling in front of us. And we're going to be tuning into Vanguard Gaming Ruby versus Acer in our first series. Heritage, I want your thoughts on it.
Acer then?
Hold on, no.
I was like, where did you get that?
Vanguard Gaming Ruby versus 8 Basils and Vortex versus Acer, and I believe we're jumping into Vortex versus Acer first here to kick things off. What do how do you feel about these series? It's again a very interesting way on how this is all going to get determined, with Acer being 4-0 and Vortex and 8 Basils both being 2-2. It really comes down to Vortex and 8 Basils performing on these maps, and we're going to find out how that's going to go right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, you do need to update a bit of those assets. Meanwhile, just cut to a player. I'll take it from here. So now we have Acer starting on the Rayab side. Now, a bit of a more slower push, and something that Vortex has been doing, I think to point out, is that Suna is, I'd argue, a bit more of their stronger map. And you've seen it kind of there. Meanwhile, play a little bit more passive play towards this B side. You have 3 players stacked towards this B long. I mean, meanwhile, I think they're trying to coordinate this push because you have 2 players towards this middle side. Clev towards the spawn. And the mid push right there is just a matter that, wow, that's timing right there. Taquito is able to find, is actually able to find Fakuko though. Taquito is just still lurking towards the rocket side.
And here comes the push on to B side as we do have the swing up through the short B, and Fizzy on that long, trying to draw the attention. Look at the full rotation from this team as they swing over through the middle, and Julian tries to open things up. They've been the kill leader for this Vortex team in several of the series so far, and they're looking to pile on some more kills here. Up through the center, over through short sight, we have Trey picking up a double, and well, things come down to a 1v4 for Samachi.
And just down to a 0v4 as Achilles gets that last kill. And Samachi was able to find one with the deagle there, and wasn't able to just get the read a bit on towards the catwalk side.
Yeah, the 4-player one-tap was not in store for them in that cross. But here we go, into round 2. Rifles in hand, maybe a bit of a better showing from the likes of Vortex. Trying to tie things up 1-1, keep it close. A nade coming out over the top, not catching anyone out on that Vortex side, but at the very least slowing down their advancement through up towards B here. And look at how fast Samachi's barreling towards short side at B.
A little bit more of a slower pace. Now Samachi pushing up towards catwalk. Now Achilles and Taquito trying to defend the site as Achilles swings on through and able to find one, but Chewie is still active. Taquito finds it and just gets one before getting flashed. Trey on the other side finds another, and Taquito through the smoke finds another. And now Cleb just pushes on through, just down to Fakuko, who tries to push on through, but it's going to be the Trey to guarantee the second for Acer.
And Acer are stepping up to the task of spoiling Vortex's hopes of advancing through into the postseason, advancing into that Final Four. It's well, again, what they're trying. That's what it comes down to. Vortex need 1 win, really. In comparison, 8 Basils need 1 win against their series against Vanguard Gaming. And I think if we're going to compare the matchups, 8 Basils versus Vanguard and Vortex versus Acer, I think Vortex have a bit of a harder task ahead of them.
Yeah, and meanwhile, on towards the A site, it's just going to be a battle towards the long. Kleb's able to find Fakuko, just Fizzy just trapped. Maybe, but the nade's going to be thrown. That Fizzy's actually able to find Trey before going down to the nade right there. And just all alone into Machi, into a 1v3. Nades are also thrown, flashbang as well. Only able to find nothing. Cleb there with another nade in hand, throwing it, and that's a bit too far. Gonna be another one as well. As that actually finds Cleb, as now this could be a 1v2 clutch. Taquito critical HP. Achilles is still on full, but just trying to retrieve the scanner is a hard task to do, as Achilles was right there watching it the whole time.
Ready and waiting on the Acer defense and shutting down Samachi and what was going to be a bit of a runaway comeback there in a 1v3 situation. We've seen some big clutches today already, though, Heritage, and I mean, quite frankly, I almost expect the clutches to come through here in this postseason when there's $5 grand on the line and the trip out to VRML Con lurking in the back of these players' minds.
Yeah, the trip to go to Denver it's a good amount of pressure as well. But meanwhile, what a nade. That is able to find Trey, who tries to go through towards main. But now the execute from Vortex is going to go through. Fizzy behind the smoke, pushes on out, and is unable to find one. Julian's able to take them down. Chewy trying to avenge for the death Fizzy. But meanwhile, Sumachi's able to find Taquito, and it's a pick from both sides. It's just down to 2v2, but both Chewy and Sumachi are only at 1 HP.
Literally a slice of HP left for them. Achilles full and Clev still holding down the center. Where's Scanner? It's on
this
Chewy.
is timing. Achilles is going to spot it. And Achilles gets the kill there. Just down to Sumachi into a 1v2. It just has to be all headshots right here. And has to get really lucky to not find the hit point. But Clev from the spawn side will find Sumachi, who tries to cut through Scaff. And it's a 4-0 lead for Acer.
Indeed it is. As Acer continue to dominate, frankly, the the postseason. They haven't lost a map yet this afternoon, as they are 4-0 overall across this postseason, across this round robin, and looking to push it up to be 5-0.
Try and make attempts to make this 5, and maybe clean house right here. This Trey with the knife trying to find one, and it's gonna be the sprays as well. But Sumachi's able to find Trey between that gap in the smoke. It's down to another 5v4. Julian behind towards the long side. Chewy able to take down Achilles. Get out to a 5v3. Clef towards the mid side. And if the side of Vortex knows the overall formation of Acer, they gotta know that Clef towards the mid side. Taquito is able to find ball though, and it's gonna be a swing. And it's just timing. Clef right there. Oh, it's just close call right there. But for Vortex, they still have the man advantage. But Sumachi falls to Clef. And now the scan's gonna go live for Vortex. You have Chewy tucked in behind Catwalk, and you have a couple of players stacked towards the site.
This tuck might work out quite well for them, or it could lead to the start of the 2v2 as they swing out and trade down 1-for-1. That works in benefit of this now defense as they hold things down, and Clev swinging into Fizzy's line of sight sets up Vortex for their first point of the day against Acer. Maybe a bit of hope for them sprinkled into this series now, and maybe an opportunity for them to get back into the swing of things. Samachi coming in with a SMG, as is Chewy, both opting for those short-range, quick-firing weapons over the rifle.
Well, I can't try and justify a Deagle right there, but Sumachi going with the APC route. And it'd be kind of call, maybe just trying to play a bit of aggressive. But look at this, Sumachi and Clev, they're about to run into each other towards the main side. And it's just about the same thing again. 1 minute 30 left. And meanwhile, the side of Vortex, they are setting up to try and make this execute onto the B site. Now the nade toss, nade's thrown. I'm not sure if that gives the cue for Clev to push through. It's just a matter of time. No one's budging. And all the action is heading towards the B site. But this could be huge, because if Sumachi wins this, Vortex have the opportunity to cut off rotates, but Sumachi's gonna clear this and get the kill, and now the push towards B is definitely possible. And now only having a couple of defenders remaining, and there's 50 seconds left on the clock. Vortex have to commit to this.
Yeah, and it's been a good draw for sure from Samachi over on that side. They do have Julian ready to hold things down and pick off the back of Samachi, but on site at B, we have the full court press coming through. Fizzy, Fat Kuko, and Chewy all trying to work their way out of these smokes. They've got one over Catwalk.
Chewy's on the flank. Chewy's on the flank. I'm not sure you realize. They might be cut off by Julian, though. They find one, but Trey manages to get a knife kill out of all of that. And Acer get their 5th.
A second knife kill of the day from Acer, but a thrown knife no less. Julian was just sprinting with knife out for the rotation. And as they vaulted up, they saw an enemy and just hucked the knife in response and find a kill. I mean, that stings a little bit if you're on the side of Vortex, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt because that's gonna pop up in the kill feed, and you don't see that often, especially in VAIL. You don't often get knife kills unless you really try to put your effort into it. But now Vortex gonna die down a little bit, try to play the exact same strat. Sumachi able to find Julian, but immediately goes down a Trey who has the videos in hand, and just same push. And are Vortex rotating back?
Well, they're at least splitting. Going to keep a little bit of the attention here, and it may lead to them actually having a couple of angles onto Achilles, onto the likes of...
Oh, they don't realize the flank. They don't realize that Achilles is able to find ball, and Fat goes down, and now they realize that Fizzy and Chewy are on the other side of the map. Now they got to commit to this. They have to go through, and you have Clev underside towards the CT side, who is watching the cross, and the util has nothing there. Chewy only has an impact or frag grenade in hand, and that's it. That's all the utility that Vortex have. And that scan's gonna start, but they have to keep defending. Fizzy has to go for the scan, but Ace is gonna swarm the site, and it's gonna be destroyed there. And Achilles from the long side takes out Chewy, and that's a 6th for Acer. And they are here just absolutely dominating Vortex right now.
I mean, they've only lost one time all season long. When we look at the matchup history, they're 10-1 across the regular season. 11 weeks of regular season gameplay. Vortex 6-5 in comparison, and a little bit lower there on the seeding at 5th. They're going up against the best right now, and they're finding a bit of a tough time with Acer here, leading 6-1 on the half. Final round of the half before we swap sides, and at least they've gotten one, but we've seen our 8th seed put up a better bit of a contest against Acer than Vortex are right now.
Fizzy able to find 2 kills. Now they're able to make the push on towards the B side, but the smoke, there's a little bit of a gap. It leaves Fizzy right open, and that is 2 kills right there. Just down to a 2v3 Trey, trying to style a little bit onto Vortex, but Clev there, and they just don't pay attention to ramp. It's Clev finds Chewy, and Fat just doesn't fully tuck in. And it's just down to a 2v2. It looks like that Vortex had the advantage, and they still will. Fat Kuko is able to find Trey, just down to Clev into a 1v2. And just 55 seconds left on the clock. Time advantage. Clev does still have that time advantage. Smoke there to force Clev out, deny the vision. I think a bit of a pop-up from Clev could probably find a single kill. 40 seconds left. Scanner is not in Vortex's hands, and Clev! Oh, it's so close, but Sumachi finds the kill. And they get the second while they hit towards the second half.
Just barely getting that. I mean, what a transfer from Clev, first of all, to be able to get the double kill. I mean, I gotta put it up on screen. The drop shot double kill, climbing up top, picking off the first, swinging down for the transfer onto the second, then picking up another 2 kills on the backside. I mean, they almost had the ace there to lock down the win for their teams. Put Acer up 7-1. But it's a nice round from Vortex, a clean round from Vortex. And as the pistol round unfolds, maybe a chance for Vortex to get another.
Vortex playing a little bit of the more common strat to save yourself up, as Sumachi loses that mid fight, and now Fizzy has to back off because they can't defend mid anymore. As now the side of Acer, they're stacking towards A, and they are slow crouching. They're going to try and make this push. They're going to put a lot of effort onto B to make some noise. Lev as well as Trey, they have made their way outside of main, and it's going to be a push. Chewy spots one, nade thrown as well, And Trey immediately falls. Clef throws another nade, ends up a bit short, but Julian from the mid side takes out Chewy. Fizzy and Fat go down as well, and Taquito secures the final kill. And that's the 7 for Acer as they get the first round of the pistol.
Oof. And Vortex coming off of a clean performance against Vanguard, who did challenge Acer, are just not having an easy time here, at least on Suna, of challenging Acer. As they do go down 7-2, Acer 1 point away from pushing it to map point. And I gotta wonder how 8 Basils, the counterpart to Vortex this afternoon for second place, is doing. They're battling out against Vanguard Gaming Ruby, and if they're able to get a win, they could really set themselves up for, well, I think they need 2. Either that or they need 2 wins. It all depends on how each team performs. If Vortex lose 2, then 8 Basils need 1. If Vortex win 1, 8 Basils need 2. We could tie, quite frankly, for second place if both teams win a map. And so there's a lot of possibilities on the table yet for second place. It is quite a close fight for that second place, and honestly every round matters. So Vortex really do need to just get some rounds here on the board on their defensive half.
Clef pushes on through. Chuli's able to take down Fizzy. Yeah, Ball, who's tucked inside towards Graffiti. Unable to find Taquito though, and that leaves B wide open. Sumachi tries to win the fight towards the mid and is unsuccessful, and it's just down to Chewy and Fakuko towards this A site. And it's just starting to pull away. And now that this should be the, at least the EMP plan, but actually the scanner's towards the mid side, so that's gonna be a while. This should give enough time for Vortex to try and maybe rotate, maybe find a better position. In fact, this nade right here, we've seen it happen again, and it's actually successful from downtown. That's a Tom Brady throw right there, and it works really well. It does stop enough time to stop the scanner to go active, but they have to win this post plant.
Yeah, with 4 alive on site and all the time in the world left still, they weren't too impacted by the delay.
No.
The trade there ends up net benefiting Acer, as they're still with 2 alive to the 1 of Chewy, but health bars don't favor the likes of Acer. And with the smoke dissipating, time is ticking for the retake from Vortex.
Time ticks down, and Taquito pops up and wins the fight, as now it is map point for Acer. And Vortex, if they want to keep themselves in it, they're going to have to try and win, I believe, 7 in a row.
Yeah. Yep, 7 in a row to take this map, and Acer just 1 away from locking in their 5th victory of the afternoon, going 5-0. That's what they're competing for right now. A heck of a performance from the Acer org in their group stage, but not entirely unexpected. I frankly anticipated Acer to step up to the task of their #1 seed, of that organization as a whole dominating across VRML, and they're definitely proving that they're a top team here in VAIL. They are #1 for a reason, and they're giving this Vortex team a continued hard time round after round. Scanner should go down at B soon. That's a nice nade from Trey over the top, doesn't quite connect. Trey gonna barrel through what is a barrage of utility, deploy another smoke to slow down any advancement, and again, great utility use coming in here from both squads, frankly, but Acer doing a good job of minimizing the speed here, the pace of the retake from Vortex.
Keto taking down Sumachi, down to a 3v4. But you have 2 members of Acer who are on just 1 HP, and Fizzy's able to find 1. Trey finds 2 before going down. It's just down to Fizzy into a 1v2, and this 1v2 is a do-or-die situation. Both players of Acer are low, but you're also low too, so it is just a matter of who lands that first shot, and it's going to be Taquito that lands it, and Acer have won the side of Suna, and they will win in map 1. And just for Vortex, it's a bit of a demoralizing result, only putting 2 against Acer.
Yeah, it's not the ideal outcome, as they do now go 2-3 overall on their record, and Acer remain undefeated 5-0. It does have me wondering where is and how is the other series performing. And so let's do our best to pop over there, Heritage, and check it out, because I do think this could get interesting. Very curious to see how the other duo, Vanguard Gaming and 8 Basils, are duking it out, and it does look like they are on Suna as well. So let's dive in, see what our score line's looking like, and man,
it's not too different. It's not too different. I'll say it. So I'm not sure. Okay, we are still on the post game. So 8 Basils are up by 6. It looks like that, you know, Vanguard are about to get their third. So yeah, they do get their third, and quote unquote a bit more better than the Acer Vortex.
Yeah, a little closer, but it certainly is a clean lead here from 8 Basils. Getting chipped away there as it drops down from 4 to 3, but they still got 3 points over their opponent. And, you know, again, it's hard if you're Vanguard Gaming Ruby. You're in a position where you know you're out of the tournament. You know that your season is over with when these final 2 maps are wrapped, and you know you do not have a chance to move on to that semi-finals next weekend. But they're still here competing, playing spoiler, on stage, and putting on a good contest against what is a good performing 8 Basils team. Embryo finds one, can't get a second as the push flies in here to A site. Well coordinated, great smokes, and everyone prepped and ready to push in for A to make this 7-3.
Skyla setting up for the plant. That is down to a 3v4. 8 Basils had the advantage. Dank's able to find Skyla, but Quick's able to find Mad Dog as well. Just down to another 2v2. And knife being thrown. Kirby Dog with the Chris Vector in hand. And it just be another push. Only able good for 1, but Arrival finishes the kill. And that is the 7th round for 8 Basils.
I mean, just barely, though. That was certainly a lot closer than it should have been. 4-2 there, and a good retake from Vanguard. Again, they continue to challenge these top teams as the new entry into the top 8 through the Challenger Cup. They are really doing a great job of being a really competitive team here. In comparison, it's not often you do see the Challenger Cup winner, again, able to compete against the #1 seed, against the #4 seed, and now battling hard against 8 Basils here as the #5 seed. It's an impressive performance from them in this really challenging group stage. Here we go.
Push through, and now 8 Basils, just in a blink of an eye, take out the B defender. And now Vanguard have to play post plant. They have to play retake. Kirby Dog lurking behind the smoke. Now, I don't think Embryo expects it. And the push there. Kirby Dog and Embryo find themselves in another trade. Skyla and Dank towards the long side. Just could be another push. I'm not sure they realize that Dank has made their way through. And oh, this is just timing. Skyla's able to find Haunted. But Dank just shot a bit too early. Yeah. And now the side of 8 Basils know where the last player is. Now Dank has to push through. 15 seconds left. And the side of 8 Basils, they're just going to play passive. They're only going to play on audio queue. And Skyla gets the kill there, as that is map point for the side of 8 Basils.
And we're seeing a big swing here in overall points, quite frankly. If 8 Basils win 9-3 and Vortex lose, was it 9-1, I think, against Acer, then I don't even know if they have a chance of winning off of a tie if we did see a loss from Basils and a win from Vortex. So I don't know. It's again getting closer and closer to us seeing Acer and 8 Basils advancing on, but it's not locked in stone just yet. We still got one more map after this to decide everything, and then we'll know who our champions are. But 8 Basils, well, having a tough time breaking through the center here, getting shut down by Quick, and we'll see if they continue to have a tough time in this. What could be what is the map point here?
Quick trying to tuck in towards underpass. Smoke toss as well. That does leave a bit of a gap, so there's going to be the call out there that there's a good amount. But Kirby Dog from Catwalk's able to find Quick. Finds 2 before going down. And just down to Embryo into a 1v2 with the videos in hand. Just with an SMG in hand. Doesn't win one, but that is it, unfortunately. As 8 Basils have won Suna. I think this could decide everything on who gets that second seed between Vortex and 8 Basils.
Yeah, it is close, but now Basils are in a comfortable lead overall in the series off of this win. It's still going to be competed for into the second map here, but I do think we could jump over to the Acer and Vortex map 2, which should be live right now if we've timed everything up correctly. And it does look like it's headed to Kitty. Heritage, if you want to talk about a way to spiral things into your favor, a defensive start for Acer on Kitty could be the way to do just that, but I don't know who's starting on defense on Kitty. We are about to jump in, though, and find out. A shout-out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and patiently waiting with us as we do bounce around from game to game, but here we go. We're into the action, and I think Acer are on the...
Acer is starting as defense,
yeah,
yep.
But they're down a point.
I think they're just playing aggressive, and their early trade there between Troy and Fat Kuko, and it's just down to a 2v3. Kleb's able to find Sumachi, down to Fizzy, into a 1v3, trying to push through Alley. But the time has ran out. I think they just played a little bit more pass. I think it was the same strat where Vortex will just camp it a little bit, just crouch and wait until something happens.
Yeah, and well, a tie game here for Vortex in map 2. They've lost handedly in map 1, but are hoping to get things back in order here as Acer, again, starting on defense on a map that is arguably very defensive sided. And so they have a chance to really send another big lead out early in on the map 2. And Vortex seem to be battling that, at least for now, but they got to be cautious of letting things spiral out of control when they're on the attack.
Spiraling out of control is Beck, who is immediately killed by the frag grenade. And Fizzy is able to find Trey, tries to push a bit, gets a bit too antsy to barrier. But you have Kleb pushing up as well as Julian that tries to find a couple of picks towards street and towards grass, but the scan's gonna start and it's running absolutely flawless for Vortex. So now nade's gonna be thrown. I think that was a bit of a knife as well. Another knife's gonna be thrown. No dice though. Now Sumachi trying to tuck in behind as Chewy's able to find Julian just down to Klev into a 1v5. Sumachi just trying to dance. Just find a pick there, but Klev couldn't do anything. Behind Alley, stuck in that specific spot. As now Vortex are up by 1 round.
Wouldn't it be something? Vortex deliver a loss to Acer, the first and only loss, and we see Vanguard getting their second win against 8 Basils. That would lead us to a 3-3 tie in overall map wins between 8 Basils and Vortex, and it would then come down to the amount of rounds that have been won by each individual team that would determine who would be second place and who would be advancing on. At this stage, Acer guaranteed to be first, guaranteed to advance on as first seed to next weekend, but the question mark is around second place, and if Vortex have it in them to put up a win here against Acer. Already, though, I mean, a lead on offense on Kitty is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Trey just able to find ball. Now they're just gonna freely back up. A little bit of shaking the hands, maybe a bit of a faster movement speed. Maybe just pretend running, knife thrown as well. Nate's there, and it does put Trey and back down to just 1 to 5 HP. Now Vortex down to a 3v5. Klev gets spotted, but unfortunately Fizzy falls, and Chewy gets Klev, but ends up costing it at the end of a trade. Just down to Fakuko into a 1v4, but down to a 1v3, but Julian towards Sniper and Bunker. Successful in making it down 2-2.
That was really aggressive on the defensive side there from both Klev and Julian to be pushing that far forward on the hunt. It works out, but definitely aggressive on their way to that defensive hold. And tied 2-2, I still think net benefits Vortex at the end of the day, potentially.
I think it does benefit Vortex in a way, as now they're going to commit to skate park. Nade's going to be thrown. There's no nade. There's no early rollout from the side of Acer. Oh, this ball just takes out 2 with the grenade. Chewy finds another one as well, as it's just been absolute grenade fest on Kitty. And now you have Julian trying to push through. I think getting a bit into a situation with Sumachi. just down to a 2v5. Gan is up. And now Kleb trying to push through towards the skate side. Spotted by one. Fakuko's able to take down Kleb, just down to Julian into a 1v5. Unable to do anything. As Vortex somehow have leads as colonists.
I mean, I think I got several questions in my mind as a spectator watching this. If you're Acer, are you really bringing your A strats right now? Do you want to divulge anything to your opponents for next weekend? Because with what's at stake, with $5,000 on the line and tickets to VRML Con, I imagine you want to keep all of your top strats close to the chest. So maybe we're seeing Acer not necessarily coming out with their best of the best right now, because they can afford a loss. They don't need to win here. They can afford a map loss. It's not gonna put them down out of the top seed or anything. And so they don't need to really put out their A strats right now. And Vortex, on the other hand, need every round. They need this win, and so it's a really interesting dynamic and opportunity for Vortex to capitalize on if Acer aren't taking this as seriously as as seriously as they need to, quite frankly, because if they don't need to take it very seriously. But it is Acer; they are undefeated, or not close to undefeated in the regular season. I imagine they want to keep that going here. And action, flashes, nades. A great nade from Kleb over the top to catch his ball.
Down to a 3v4. And Kleb has an STF, mind you. I think this is the first time we've seen a shotgun in play. And now it's going to be the push there. Unfortunately, unable to find any type of action. I'm a bit sad because I think this is the first time we've seen an off-meta gun being used. Down to Taquito into a 1v3. There, Chewy. We heard the calls. Fizzy goes down. Chewy's going to swing. Doesn't matter. It's just down to a 1v1 between Tumachi and Taquito. Just flashed as well. Does Taquito find Tumachi, or who finds who? Doesn't check the corner, and this is just timing, and thinks Tumachi knows. The scan's, it's gonna tap, and Taquito wins the 1v3, and we're tied up. And just what an absolute clutch.
Headshots for days from Taquito as they pick apart the trio that was left on Vortex. And shotgun in hand, it doesn't matter. Acer still putting rounds on the board. Tied 3-3.
I want to see a shotgun kill. I think. Oh, never mind. They put it away. I'm disappointed.
Well, I mean, there's a level of like I said, there's a level of flexibility with Acer today in terms of what they can do in this final map with just how well all the other teams have performed and how well they have performed. So I understand taking it lightly and going for maybe some off-meta choices like a shotgun.
I mean, I think in the old patches it used to be common, it used to be meta, but I think now it got some of the worst nerfs I've ever seen. Man, M2 Slug, that was a meta. If you were there, you definitely knew how it was. But anyways, we gotta focus on the action. Chewy's able to take down Beck with a grenade. Klev also goes down as well, just down to another 2v5, and I think Julian spotted a couple of players of Vortex that are making this cross into Bridge. Now Julian just has to make this push. Now they're just able to freely cross into A side. There is a bit of defense. But now you have Fat Kuko, who actually gets spotted. And now it's just down to a 2v4. Down to a 1v4. Actually, no, 1v3, mind you. As there was a trade. And Taquito alive. Just, you could tell by the emotions right there. 35 seconds left. 1v3. Taquito has done this before last round. And I think that audio cue, I think that gunshot just set it off, knowing where one is. Did they spot the highlight? I think they heard the audio cue. It's going to be a swing, an early pre-fire. But 15 seconds left. That time's ticking down. They spotted Taquito. They know where they're at. And Ball takes them down. As Vortex are up by 1.
And only 1, but it is a lead. 4-3 here before we get into the final round of the half. Let me swap sides.
Mind you, they're leading as the attackers
I know.
On this specific map.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it sets them up for a potential victory here. They need 1, but if they only get 1, it's not enough. It'll be, oh man, it puts us into a tie scenario potentially, depending on how 8 Basils do in their final map. If 8 Basils win, then nothing matters. because Vortex have already lost the map against Acer, and so if 8 Basils take 2 maps in this final round, then they will be second place, and Vortex will be knocked out. So it really comes down to Vortex getting a win here and Basils losing, or Basils getting a win. And we'll know who our second place is as Julian opens things up, finds a kill, tries to push things up 5-3 for Vortex.
Vortex setting themselves up in skate park. Now, I think that is Baghdad tries to push on through. That's actually Trey, who kind of pushed in towards the mid side. Yeah, Beck and Taquito trying to defend this B bomb site. And now it starts to die down a little bit. 1 minute left on the clock. A couple of players defend. Yeah, Fakuko, I believe. Actually, no, that's Ballfinger that's holding this cross. That's the number 6 on that mini-map to defend, because they usually have... We see in it back where Acer will just send one player to push this flank, and it works out in their favor. There's 40 seconds left. Vortex can't buy enough time. Now Chewy gets spotted towards this mid side and goes down to Julian. It's down to another 4v3. Is fully wide open, but now they decided Vortex had to regroup. As I believe that is Fizzy that has been spotted by Trey. Nate's thrown, unable to find the chip damage. As now Trey goes down. Actually, no, Trey's able to find Fakuko. And now it's just down to Ball and Fizzy in a 2v3. 15 seconds left. They're able to get this post plant. But the retake is gonna be a little bit more easier for Acer.
3v2. The scanner down, Trey picking up the kill. Fizzy going down in a trade, and Acer will be able to tie the half 4-4. But just barely tie it, quite frankly, for our second map of the afternoon, as Acer don't have a stellar defensive half. They now go on the attack on a map that is historically defensive heavy, and Vortex have a real chance to lock in a win here and force 8 Basils into a map 2 win in their series against Vanguard.
Acer opting to go for skate park first while sending 2 players towards this mid side. And they are just holding it. They're holding their forward button. They're just holding onto the stick. Nade's gonna be thrown, smokes up. And you have Trey trying to push out towards this grass side. Beck has made their way in, but the nade's gonna stop them in their tracks. Nade's gonna be thrown as well, but unfortunately unable to find a lot of damage onto Trey. And now Chewy, they're in the smoke. And Kleb towards that window side. Knife is thrown, ending up a bit too short. This actual chaos is happening towards this B side. Julian's able to find Fakuko, and that's going to be the plan. Down to a 3v4. And now Sumachi's pushing on in. Trey, it's going to be the knife. Both of them whiff. Chewy finds the kill, though. And just down to another 3-on-3. Kleb towards his middle side is going to find a couple of players, but just Ball and Sumachi. Now Chewy has made some progress in. Kleb spots him through, but Taquito able to find Ball. And Chewy just goes down to the frag grenade as well. Just down to Sumachi into a 1v3. And Sumachi, knife, gun in hand. I believe that's a PL in hand. Nope, that is out of shots. Nothing they could do. That is the round there. Acer gained the lead. It's 5-4.
Will they take 4 more points on offense? Or will Vortex have a shot here? If Acer win, then it is over for Vortex as well. That's one way of looking at it as well. 8 Basils with the win, and Vortex with 2 losses, it just knocks them out. So it really is it's a high-pressure moment right now. They've done a great job, maybe better than they expected on offense against Acer here. And I got to wonder if they know just how close they are to second place and moving on to next weekend.
And it's the exact same strat. Nate there from Trey. This time I think the side of Vortex are starting to anticipate it. Sumachi swings on through, finds Trey. But Klev, what an absolute nade to just read it. And it's just down to another 4v4. Klev pushing on through towards Arches. A couple of players still stuck in skate park. Meanwhile, the action has started to die down a little bit. Klev bought a couple of players. Now on the other side, Bell is able to find Beck. Now the full focus is on towards this B side. Clev able to find Fizzy as that leaves Bakugo all alone on towards this site. 55 seconds left. They're gonna side of Acer. They're gonna start swarming it. They're gonna start swarming B. Scan is up. Taquito doesn't expect him to be on site. Clevs immediately goes down as well, and it's just down to Julian into a 1v3, and that is possible to do. Bakugo defending the B site gives them their 5th.
A huge clutch hold there from Bakugo that locks that in. A massive triple kill. And a great retake. Maybe whether they were ready for him or not on that back corner, who knows. But Acer, with an otherwise great push up to site, get completely surprised and shut down. And they're tied. I mean, if anything here, Heritage, one thing that stood out to me is that Acer are vulnerable. They can bleed, and they have had a hard time in this postseason against multiple teams.
Yeah, they've had a couple of matches where it went 9-7, 9-6.
Yeah.
So they've definitely shown a little bit of weakness towards their gameplay. But I think just still closing it out in the end is what really matters. It's like it doesn't matter if you're still, kind of choking it a little bit. But as long as you're able to just close out a couple of these games, it's fine. But meanwhile, the push is coming in from sides. The action towards middle. Taquito able to find Fizzy. I'm just down to Chewy and Bakugo against a team of 4. Chewy hearing a couple of audio cues from Taquito. Has played this a lot more passive, but this is timing. Trey tries to find one with the knife, unsuccessful. Clef tries to do the same thing. And they're just unsuccessful. I think that was the PL-14 in hand as well. Chewy still defending it. Just a little bit of having some fun on the side of Acer. Now Chewy, well as Bakugo, has to play for a 2-on-2.
Trying to challenge up through the center, and 1-2. Taquito and Beck find the kills they need. Acer back in the lead.
Round starting.
No easy victory here on defense for Vortex. They were hoping that with a side swap, they'd see Kitty leaning into their favor on defense, but it hasn't quite gone that way. Acer are doing what they did to what happened to them with Vortex, and I mean they're doing it with a little bit less of pressure behind their back. They have guaranteed advancement on to the postseason. They're guaranteed contest as first seed in Group B, and they get a chance to compete for $5 grand and one of 2 team tickets out to VRML Con July 20th and 21st in Denver, Colorado. I think that was a double-handed SMG that came out there from someone on Acer, as Vortex now push this, trying to take it 6-6.
This mid-action and Sumachi and Trey, they smokes there. Oh my goodness, Trey just won the knife fight. And I just think that might be a highlight right there. Down to another 3v2. Wow, I never expected a knife-on-knife duel. Just
like samurai.
In the smoke too. Yes. well, the knives aren't that long.
Ninjas.
They're like
ninjas.
It's like Bond, like James Bond type like knife right there.
Crocodile Dundee type knife.
Clev's in a 1v2. And Nate's there. Nate's thrown as well. Fortunately unable to find Baldo. And just, a trade there. I think Ball just with the Glock in hand, able to just secure that kill. It's down to a 6-6.
I'm a little bit more interested at this point in seeing how Abe Basils is doing. I am curious.
Because I do want to see if Vortex wins this, it's game on.
I don't know if
I would be a bit shocked if 8 Basils did lose. Well, to be fair, I think we have enough time because they did start like 10 minutes ago.
That's true. We can finish this off most likely because they were on a bit of a delay. But, it's obviously both teams here. Not necessarily. It's interesting to see. I imagine Vortex are trying to win here. I don't imagine they're coming in looking for knife kills or anything like that. And if anything, the aggression definitely working for them to some degree. Samachi picking up some early kills. A trade there up through the center on the smoke, and Samachi finding another. down goes Acer, and maybe Vortex will have the lead for the first time this series.
Well, they have had the lead. They just ended up losing it by a good amount next round. Too much. Trying to throw another knife as well. Clev to Ali. Tries to attempt another knife, but Fat Kuko towards Ali is able to spot it. And I really do want to see another knife kill.
I think we've had 3 so far on the day.
I think all of them came from Acer.
Yeah, well, you can be a little bit more flexible with how you find your kills when you are undefeated in the postseason. You know, you have a little bit less pressure at your back in terms of qualifying through. And again, they've guaranteed the first place seed. So really for them, this map doesn't matter because of how well they perform, because they've gone 5-0, and every other team has had a much harder time going 2-3, 3-3, 3-2. You know, they're not leading high enough in order to really even challenge Acer at 5-1. There's not enough points in this round robin left, so they're comfortably locked in. They're playing casual, and it leans into Vortex's favor to some degree if they can capitalize on the moment.
Yeah, it's just down to another 4-on-2. Taquito's able to find Fizzy off by towards the window side. Trey on the other side. Not have the scanner in hand, as that's actually favored in a site. And I'm pretty sure Vortex realized this and are just playing defense.
Haven't had
down
any,
a Trey into another 1v3.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at the score lines. Haven't had any report in yet on 8 Basils. So, like you said, they started a little late, so we may be able to jump into that action before this finishes, despite this going as back and forth as it is. And Vortex, a kill away with Trey with a knife in hand, a kill away from
double knife, mind you. Those are both knives in Trey's hand. I think they're going to go for this. And I don't think that's going to find one. Another one. Oh, that's a deagle. Another handed swing, but that is going to be the confirmed kill for Chewy. Match point. Yeah, Acer are just having fun now. I'm pretty sure they've known that they are securing the top seed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they play, I believe, Determined next week. I believe they were the 2nd seed.
Right. Yeah. That's the benefit of getting first in your group, is that you go against the 2nd seed of the opposing group. And so, like we've been saying, this weekend had Group A unfold yesterday, Group B today, and that leaves us with 4 teams advancing on to the semifinals next weekend. Starting tomorrow, Saturday, and only Saturday, you're going to want to tune in to see which 2 teams will advance on to play live at VRML. It is, you know, mere moments away from being decided, quite frankly, as Vortex are 1 point away from locking in a map win. And, I mean, making this pretty interesting if 8 Basils have a hard time against Vanguard.
Yeah, I think if 8 Basils loses that, as Fat Kuko takes out Taquito, who tries to enter towards the cave. Fizzy tucked in, and they just look away at the wrong time. There's a one-on-one onto the site right here, and Fat Kuko takes down Trey, and Clev on the other side, able to take down Ball. And now the push is on, but the plant is going to be favored towards this A site. Nade's going to be thrown as well. 2 frag grenades tossed as well. Beck's going to confirm this post plant, and now Chewy as well as Fat Kuko have to think of something now.
Yeah, this is not ideal. Vortex have a real chance of getting a map win that they very likely do need, and they don't want. I gotta wonder, even if they win here by a small amount, if they, or even if, I don't know how it's all gonna turn out. We'll have to see. Acer nonetheless are competing. 3-2, make it a 3-1. Bakuko is alone and picked off by Julian. Another point for Acer, and there's no easy ones for Vortex. They can't get a map squeaked out on defense just yet. But another round as we go to map points again. We'll see what Acer bring to the table on this attack.
It would be funny if Vortex had this, had the lead. I hope I didn't jinx it, because I think you know this. I have a pretty good record of calling things, and they went absolutely wrong. It would be funny, but I think no, it would be funny if Acer managed to win this. You know, they just, you know, were like, okay, yeah, silly time's done. Let's not give them a second seed. And now smokes are gonna be tossed towards his skate side. There are a couple of members there, but the action is a lot more focused towards skate. You have two members of Acer, Taquito, and Trey that are stacked towards the skate park side. But a lot of the action is going to be towards the Spirit side. It's a trade. And it's just going to be a push on through. Another trade happens on towards the B side. And now it's down to another 3-on-3. Ball is able to take down Julian. A push there. And Taquito and Beck left alive into a 3v2. But I think Ball might be getting a little bit too aggressive.
Beck working their way to A site right under the nose of Ball here as Taquito rotating over as well. And I'm getting confirmation now that Basils have won. And so that's that. Acer locked in as first seed, and 8 Basils going 4-2 on the day will be the second place team. No matter the result here of this final round, we'll let it finish out. We'll let Vortex maybe lock in a map win. Who knows, quite frankly.
Maybe they get a map. Maybe they steal one from Acer. But I think, oh, that nade there.
Close.
It's close. Beck is just going to swing on in. Finds there, but that's the tray. So that's the map secured. Unfortunately, I don't think it will matter because 8 Basils have secured that second seed for next week.
Yes, indeed. And we have our 2 teams qualifying through from Group B. Acer and 8 Basils. Congratulations to both squads for battling through the round robin. Acer at the first seed, 8 Basils as the second. Who will 8 Basils be going up against for their bid into the grand finals next weekend? Who are they? Who's the first?
I think they're going against Rect. They're going against Rect.
So we got Rect and 8 Basils in Determined versus Acer for next weekend. 2 of those teams advance on to the grand finals to play live at VRML Con. That's going to be an incredible day. That's Saturday. Same time, 3 p.m. PST. We'll have a nice pre-show at 2:30. Maybe some exclusive interviews between the 2 teams, but who knows? You're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to catch all of that action. It's going to be incredible. Heritage, I hope to have you there with me because that finals is going to be spectacular for NA. I mean, the semis is going to be something to behold. I can't wait to see those best of 3s.
Yeah, I think those best of 3s. And I think they're probably going to be some of the closest it has been. I mean, you look at the group stages, they were close. But I think with a lot more on the line, especially, I think Acer Determined, I think that's a highlight for next week.
Oh, yeah.
And I think both of them are going to be some really, really good matches.
Looking forward to it, but we are going to be wrapping up here this afternoon. 4-hour day here of nonstop VAIL action. And we're hungry. We appreciate everybody stopping in, hanging out, and enjoying the action. A big shout out to our sponsors, Axe Labs, ProTube VR, HyperX, all contributing into the prize pool and sponsoring VRML Con. A big shout out to them. We really do appreciate their support. Keep your eyes peeled, buy your tickets now, and if you haven't already, get your hotel reservations because that exclusive offer ends on the 25th. Just a couple of weeks before the convention starts. You're going to want to secure that deal now as the rooms are limited and the time is short. So jump in on that offer. You can head over to vrmlcon.com to buy your tickets to watch the top 2 teams battle it out. But my name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Heritage. Until next time, stay classy. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab, Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.